Hey, welcome back to the episode of Instagram podcast. I'm your host, Juan, and as always, my co-host is here with me. Hey, Trip.
What up, bud? I just took an Ambien. We're ready to party.
What is an Ambien?
Listen, man, I've never taken one. I don't know. It's to help you sleep, but it makes people start like
Tripping?
being wild and hallucinating and sometimes sleepwalking and doing weird shit.
Speaking of weird shit,
they don't remember.
This week we're talking about When Marnie Was There.
It's a movie about a girl who takes an Ambien a bunch.
Boom. Fucking, we nailed it, boys.
It mostly is. If you've seen it, you get it. We'll talk about it. You'll get it.
Yeah.
How have you been? I've missed you. You've been in San Diego all this time, but...
So for people who don't know, not last week, the week before that, Kate stepped in and took over the podcast because I was supposed to go on a business trip with my dad.
Yep.
Was supposed to go to Southern California to look at a food truck that we bought to get made. Mm-hmm. That trip has been postponed for 2 weeks now, right?
Yeah. So Kate was supposed to be on here, and then she was. And then the next week, I'm like, "Are you leaving?" And you're like,
nope.
"Nah, but let's just do something quick and easy." Mm-hmm. So that was last week's episode.
Yeah, the Dragon Dentist.
Yeah.
And so then this week was like, "Hey man, I might be leaving this week. Let's do something quick and easy." So we did this when Marnie was there because it's a Ghibli movie I hadn't seen before.
So this week, next week, I mean, we're gonna do something quick and easy
because I might not be there. It's wild, man. Like I keep telling my dad, I was like, "Hey man, when are we going? What's the deal?" Because like I'm not a very planny kind of guy. Like that's just never been me. The longer I've been with Sierra, the more I've become more like,
you need a plan.
Hey, I need a plan, right? Yeah. And it's not like I'm upset with my dad. I'm just like, I would really like to know when we're taking this 8 or 9 hour trip down south, Southern California, because he's making me drive, I was like,
and it helps other people in your life plan. Like now you have the podcast responsibility. Mm-hmm. Sierra needs to know when you're leaving so she could prepare for the time without you.
Yeah. None of that.
Taking care of Ella and all that.
Yeah. So this today, Sierra was talking to me. He's like, "So you're going to be here for trivia?" Because trivia is coming up this week on Tuesday.
Yesterday.
Yeah. But yeah, yesterday. So maybe I went, maybe I didn't. And I was like, I don't know. So I talked to my dad and he's like, I don't know. He goes, I don't know. I'll let you know. And then I physically saw my father like, "Hey man, are we going to Southern California tonight?"
What's the deal?
Yeah,
guy?
Like, are we driving? And he's like, so and he says, "Look, man, tomorrow I'll have an answer for you. And if it doesn't work out, we'll just push it back a week."
I just have a question. Why? Is it done?
It's supposed to be done. We're supposed to go look at it and they're supposed to show us how all the equipment works on it. Like, hey, this is how your generator is set up, and this is how this is set up. And we're supposed to give it also like a once over. Be like, yeah, we're happy with the thing. Nothing needs to be fixed.
Yeah,
done. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's taking so long, man. Maybe it's because it's like getting close to the holidays. I know that 1 week the setback was they didn't have the design yet for the wrap that they were going to put on it.
Okay,
and I was like, okay, well, that's the graphic designer's fault.
That's a pretty big deal.
But I don't know. There's just been setbacks after setback. So either this week I am going to Southern California or next week I am going to Southern California. It will be happening. So the last 3 weeks of my life have just been this weird purgatory. Like, I don't know what's going on.
And you told me something earlier that I find fucking insane.
What's up?
You said that your dad's like, "Yeah, man, maybe we'll leave Tuesday night, like at midnight." Oh, yeah. And I'm like, at midnight? Mm-hmm. Who fucking, like, those of you out there that are listening, maybe there is a reason. Please let me know your specific reason, because to me, I'm like, oh, midnight to avoid the traffic. But it's a 10-hour drive. If you left at like 8 at night, it's dark, not too many drivers are out to start, and then it just gets thinner and thinner until the morning, and like barely anybody's driving. You'll maybe see a few people.
I don't know, man, because my first decision was like, all right, cool, we're just going to fly out there. Because the last time we went there, we flew. And this time's like, no, we're going to drive. And I go, why? Why would we drive? It's not like we can't financially afford to buy a ticket.
Yeah.
Second of all, if we would have bought the tickets, like when he knew the thing was set up, like it would have been cheaper. But I guess the situation is he also never had a date set. So we could have bought like 4 or 5 tickets by now, and be like, sorry, it's not happening. Yeah, it's wild. I don't know. We're driving late at night, which is I guess that's how I get my money. That's my gigs. He's gonna lift all the way there and lift all the way back. I don't know, man. I don't know why.
It's pretty messed up.
I've never really driven. The only time I've ever driven that far was when I went to Moreno Valley with my friend Kyle. Not your friend Kyle, my friend Kyle.
Lesser Kyle. Who I like to refer to as Other Kyle.
Other Kyle, yeah. And we also went really late. He's like, yeah, this is how we travel. I'm like, okay, I guess. And I'd never driven that long, like straight by myself.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. It's like did weird things to my brain, you know? Kyle told me the plot to so many mangas.
Or like, hey, that's good though, because when it's you and your dad, I feel like you're gonna run out of some stuff to talk about. I don't
think so,
Who
man.
knows?
I don't know, because I always have one of my favorite things to do is ask my dad about his life, because he was 25 when I was born. No, that's not right. He was 28 because he got married at 25. So he had a whole life before like I existed, and for some reason, like his life is just so interesting to me. And I think maybe being in Mexico, this lawless country, like
it's like some wild
when
shit.
When he tells me some stories, I go, "Holy shit! How old were you when this happened?" He goes, "Like 12." I was like, "What?" I was watching Yu-Gi-Oh at 12, bro. Like, that was like the most stressful thing. Like, oh shit, is fucking Yu-Gi getting enough stars to go to the fucking Duelist Kingdom? Oh fuck, that was my biggest stress.
Like, I gotta drive through 3 towns. I'm 10 years old.
Yeah, no, my dad would be like, yeah, we just kind of left and started working at a brothel. I was just like, what? He's just like, we had to make money. I was like, yeah. I was like, but was that the only gig? He's like, yeah, my uncle owned it. And I was just like, well, now tell me more about this brothel job.
Yeah.
By the way, he was the cleanup guy at the brothel.
Fucking horrible.
His dad.
And you have told me that. Before.
His dad was the bodyguard, the doorman, and my dad would like go to like afterwards and clean up. I guess.
Awesome.
Hey, job's a job. You see, so stuff like that. Like I don't think I'll get tired of talking to him, which isn't the issue. I love talking to my dad. The issue is, it just flying is more convenient.
It is way more convenient.
Like we could still have a great time flying for an hour and a half and driving 2 hours to the airport.
Stress.
Yeah, but no, it is what it is. But anyways, Kyle did what we were doing. We were driving, we were talking about a bunch of stuff, and then we kind of like didn't know what to talk about. And I was like, "Hey man, have you read this manga?" And he goes like, "Yeah." And you go, "You want to hear about it?" Like, "Sure." And he just told me the entire plot. One was just like really long, and I was just like really invested, like so invested. And like he finished it, and I was like, "That's it?" And I go, "Huh, kind of disappointed with the ending." And he goes like, "Sorry." And I realized, wow, like what an asshole. Like Kyle had been talking at me for like 20, 30 minutes about this huge manga. And I go, "That's how it ends? That sucks." And I'm like, "What else you got?" I was like, "Oh, I feel bad."
What? There's nothing to feel bad about.
I felt bad because like I was like, Kyle put in all the work, read this huge manga, and then just spends a huge amount of time telling me about it. And I go, lame ending. Great manga to my recollection, because like I didn't actually read it or whatever.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so the question was, what have I been up to? Nothing. I have not gone to Southern California.
Shit.
What'd we do?
What do we do?
I went to a screening of Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, you did.
This past week with my friend Tim. It's
shout outs to Tim.
Yeah, this is Tim's like favorite movie. He was the one that showed it to me for the first time when we were like out of high school and stuff. I remember at that point I'd seen like Howl's Moving Castles and Spirited Away, but I didn't know about this one. He's like, "Dude, it's so good. You got to check it out."
Hey man, can I interject really quick? For sure. What's your favorite movie? Do you have a favorite movie? No. I for sure don't.
No, I don't.
I used to be like, yeah, I have a favorite movie. Now I don't. I feel like I've seen too much shit.
I don't think I have a favorite movie, but I think the issue with Tim is like, it was his favorite movie growing up,
Yeah.
And he has a son now. Mm-hmm. And his son now watches the movie the way he does. So it's just kind of like, maybe it's like something that he holds near and dear. So maybe it's like, yeah, that's why it's his favorite movie.
I get that. Yeah.
But I don't have one. But yeah, so Steve fucking Ghibli Fest is going on through Fathoms. So we made plans a month ahead of time because Tim's pretty bad at planning things to go watch this. Like, hey, we're going to watch it this day.
You kind of have to. It's a Fathom event.
It's a Fathom event. And, I'd never seen it in theaters. I'd seen it since I saw it with Tim the first time. Again, I wasn't super jazzed the first time I saw it. I was like, it's okay.
It's good.
And Tim was really bummed out. I didn't love it as much as he did when I watched it. And I was like,
when did you watch it?
Like I said, I was like probably like 18.
18? I feel like at that point, you've already seen a lot of different kinds of things. Mm-hmm. And you were already exposed to anime at that point.
Like, this isn't Naruto. What the fuck's this?
So when you're used to these like, that's one of the best things about seeing a Ghibli movie when you haven't seen anything else, is that it's this thing that a lot of people know about, and then you're invited into a totally different way of storytelling and a different world, and it all feels so fresh and new, and it looks different than anything. Then you've already seen shit like that, so it doesn't have that, like, what the fuck is this element to it that he had. So he was just surprised he didn't feel that way.
Yeah, I think he was bummed out. I think since then, since like watching that for the first time, I've watched a bunch of other stuff now, and I've come back to appreciate Ghibli more. So like when I watched it like a time before that, and then I watched it at the movie theaters, it does make you go, you know what, this is pretty good. Like there's some merit here.
There's some cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, it's not my favorite. I still think I like Howl's Jimmy's Castle the best, but it's still really good, you know?
Yeah. So I mean, the message is good. It just didn't have too many characters, honestly. That's how I feel.
I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, he likes the big wolves and stuff. And I'm like, like I said, he also brought his son to hang out and like watch it because, you know, he knows all about it. And his son's like gatekeeping me. He's just like, hey, what's the name of the wolf? I go, I don't know. He was like, fucking loser.
You're like, yeah, okay.
I was like, whoa, how old are you, bro? Like 4? Settle down. I'll fucking end you. And he's just like, yeah. And he like knows
your son's life, bro.
Like he knows like the last words of like the lines and stuff. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm impressed. He's Princess.
Watched it a lot.
His Princess Mononoke knowledge is fucking pretty top tier. It's like, but has he seen fucking Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, bro?
Get on our level.
He's a huge fan of My Hero. The other day, Tim was telling me that he ran into this room and he goes, "Fear not, citizens, for I am here." He just like yells at it, and Tim goes, "Oh, like my heart, like, oh my god, my son, like so precious to me." But yeah, he nailed it. Like he was like watching it and he was squirming a little bit, and he was like, you know, he's a little kid. But there was like another row of kids that were just total fucking assholes. Like their parents were behind them, and I could tell like their parents probably watched anime when they were younger. So like that's why they were there to, you know, have their kids experience. And the kids are just like, "Hey mom, could I get more cheese puffs?" And I'm like, yo, dude, shut the fuck up. You know, like if you need more snacks, just be like, "Hey, can I get some more snacks?" You know, but he's just like speaking too loud, or he'll be like, "Hey mom, can I get a drink? Hey mom, do you have any more gummies? Oh, we left the gummy bears in the car." I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. This kid's 4 over here, watching the movie like a champ,
crushing it.
And you're over here like 11 years old, like, dude, I gotta pee again. I was like, fucking pee then. Go pee. You can do this yourself. Like, you're an adult. I know he's not an adult. It's like, you're not a baby anymore. Fucking figure it out. Are they saying stupid stuff? Yeah, they're saying stupid. That's my biggest issue with movie theaters. Like, fucking hate people just being garbage.
People are the worst. I went to the movies with my mom the other day. We saw Frozen 2, and there was a couple next to her.
Babies there, a couple fucking
babies.
wieners.
No, there was a couple next to her that were probably 18 to 20 somewhere. They're an adult, but they're pretty young. And we were watching Frozen 2, having a good ass time, and there's this whole song that had like a bit going with it, which was funny, and they kept bringing it back in funny ways. The couple next to my mom was losing their minds. The girl especially fucking loved it. It was like her favorite thing. She was giggling so hard, and my mom was getting irritated at her. So after the movie, I had to be like, or she was just like, yeah, this couple next to me, I feel like they were like super high or something like that, because she was giggling way too much. And I'm like, see, here's the thing, Mom. They're like 18 or 20. I'm sure like 6 years ago when Frozen came out, they fucking loved it. And they watched it too much.
A bunch, yeah.
So they're stoked that the second movie's coming out. And they're going to the first screening of it. Not only that, it's probably their favorite character. And they're probably doing a joke that somehow they had made. Like, there's everything that goes behind it. People are just having fun. Just let people have fun.
Fuck them. That's what I say.
Like, so there are people that get on my nerves. When I went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2, there was this woman who was next to me who was like, "Baby Groot," like the whole fucking time. She was losing her fucking mind.
She would say Baby Groot.
Yeah, she was like talking. She was like, "Oh my god, he's so cute." Oh, just like,
my god, I'm gonna fuck him so bad.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, you're getting on my nerves. But then again, good for you. For having a lot of fun.
You're like, it's my mistake for coming to movie theaters and wanting to watch a movie.
Well, that's the way I felt. Yeah. I'm like, man, I'm having a good time with this movie. Not as good as of time she's having, but she's making my time worse. But I can't judge her. She's having the most fun. I don't know.
I think the times I get most upset is when I'm watching the movie and then, you know, I'm focusing and like I'm getting lost in this world, immersed or whatever, and then you just hear something and it just takes you out. And it's like, fuck, I was in it.
Right.
And
somebody drops a glass bottle and you're like, what in the fuck? How did you get?
I don't know what I was watching. It was either the first Spider-Man movie or the second to last Avengers movie or whatever. It was a Marvel movie of some sorts. Maybe it was even Guardians 2. But
I remember you talking about the popcorn person.
It was
the Colonel in there.
There's the Colonel chick. There's a Colonel dude. That was later. But this one was a girl. She had the world's most annoying laugh.
Dude, I do remember you talking about this.
And it like blew my mind because I was like, yo, man, I'm so fucking pissed because of your laugh. But it's your laugh. You can't really control it.
You have zero control over your laughter.
And then, but the thing I did have that really did make me like mad about it also was she also laughed at everything. Things that weren't even funny. I was just like, no. I'm giving you a pass on having a horrible laugh. I'm not giving you a pass on being such a fucking idiot that everything that happens you think is hilarious. That I'm upset about.
See, that's where it also comes back to just how people work.
Fuck people.
And this is the thing. I'm not a big people person.
Yeah.
I'm pretty introverted. People are always surprised because of how I act at work and how I act around friends. And I'm like, no, because as soon as a stranger comes in, I change. I'm a totally different person. So when somebody is laughing at fucking everything, I'm like, wow, I hate people and I hate this person more than anyone I've ever known. In that moment. But then I get out of it and I start thinking and I'm like, that's just how she expresses herself.
And fuck
for
her.
Any emotion. She's laughing and that's how she expresses being happy. Not necessarily at funny things all the time, but that's how she expresses happiness too. It's just laughing. There's something to it. And there's that logical part of me that's like, people are people and people are pretty great. Like
we all gotta, yeah.
And then I'm here also like, never talk to me, never look at me, never touch me. If I have to talk to you, it better be in my benefit. If I'm doing something for you without anything back, fuck you.
That's funny.
That's me.
I think because I know you've told me that you're like an introvert, and I do see it because like when we hang out, like you're who you are,
right?
But there's time where we're like in public, and I go, Tripp's kind of being a bummer. I was like, he's just, he doesn't feel comfortable.
I can't. I don't know why. For some reason, even though I'm a very easygoing, and like I said, I totally fucking get where people are coming from.
Yeah.
I can't. When I'm out in public, my brain doesn't work the way that I want it to work.
Yeah. And I don't think, you see, in the opposite of that, it's the extrovert, right? The guy that's like really outgoing. Yeah. I don't think I'm that either. No. I think I'm more like in the middle, like, I don't mind being, open and stuff to people. But for the most part, it's more like people are just the worst sometimes. And I'm just trying to watch my fucking movie and you want to shut. Anyways.
That's just a thing with aging too, is that you're just like, wow, more and more people are worse and worse. Who would have thought? Versus like, you have your friends and then you see other people and like, oh man, they're fucking cool. You never think, oh, that guy's fucking cool unless they're really cool. Mm-hmm. But as a kid, you're like a couple times a week, maybe more than that. You're like, that guy was doing this cool thing.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm just like, I just saw a kid trying to flip a bottle of water up onto a small railing, and he was just doing his thing. But man,
was he fucking doing it? No, so another thing that made me feel like less upset about the whole situation in the Princess Mononoke screening was I get that like the parents were like trying to show like the kids something that like they were super like
appreciate my childhood,
and like they were laughing and stuff, and they like the parents like enjoyed like specific parts of it, and like oh I'm like, oh cool, like that's great, there's a point where like I don't know, the main character, I don't know his name. I fucking should. It's probably like an easy name. He gets dropped.
It's like Shinji or something.
I don't know.
Like
he gets dropped off his like red deer that he rides or whatever. He like, falls on his head and rolls over. And then one of the wolves comes up and like grabs him by the head and like shakes him. And that cracks Tim up every time. Trip just like, no, Tim. Tim goes, look. Because I was like, yeah, that was funny, Tim. Like, I get it. And so I was thinking about it as like, you know what? Like, I'm not as upset because this movie is really fucking old. It's not like a brand new thing.
No.
I'm here, to, watch this on the
It's a good time.
Yeah, like,
it's a classic.
And some of the commentary the kids were having were pretty fun. Like they're watching and like they go, like something's happening. They go, hey, is he dead? And they go like, no, I don't think so. And then like, oh yeah, he's for sure dead. Yeah, look. Yeah, that's dead. That's dead. I'm like, that is dead. Good job. Good for you.
They figured it out.
Or like they had
I
don't know what they're like. They're woodland spirits.
The spirits,
yeah. And they go, oh, they're kind of cute. And they go, oh, there's their butts. Yeah, they're kind of cute, but I don't like their butts. I was like, yeah, man, you'll like butts one day. Like, just
don't worry, man.
You'll get there.
As a kid, butts are fucking hilarious. Then you grow up and you're like,
butts are
gross.
No, butts are hot.
No. There's the gross stage and before the hot stage.
That's where poops and farts come from.
Yeah.
But farts are hilarious.
Farts are funny.
And poop.
Okay, are we getting into this right now?
Let's talk about farts and poop.
Yeah. All right. Who knew with this episode when Marnie was there, which is very not farts and poop, we're talking about it.
That's why we got to get it in before we talk about the... Because the one thing when Marnie was there was lacking was farts and poops.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. So I've always had this argument with Kyle. And when I say always, I mean,
all the time, yeah.
When we were younger, we used to talk about it more because it was a hot topic. Mm-hmm. What's funnier, farts or poop?
Okay.
My argument is farts.
Okay.
But he was always like poop. It's a funnier word. The idea's funnier. And I'm like, okay, but farts are first off less gross, loud. They accompany poop, but they don't need to.
Yeah.
They have their place. They're great. Poop, if you just see some wild poop, not necessarily funny.
You see a wild fart though.
Fucking hilarious.
Okay. I guess if I'm going to weigh in on the farts and poop situation.
Yeah, I would like you to.
Okay. I guess in cartoons, like in the concept of like not real, like poop is funny. Like poop is like the shape of it is funny.
Yeah.
Saying poop is funny.
Yeah.
In reality,
yes, exactly.
Poop is a lot grosser. Like if I see poop on the ground, I go, oh, that's shit. That's gross. Like I don't even go like, oh, that's poop anymore. In my head, it's like, oh, it's shit. Mm-hmm. But if someone farts, like in the real world, I go, someone farted. Yeah. Now if I fart, yeah, it's 1,000 times funnier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the situation, or it's embarrassing. It depends. Yeah. Which could be funny to somebody else.
But when you poop, also embarrassing depending on context.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, very true. So I think, yeah, in like, in conceptually, poop might be funnier. Mm-hmm. But in reality, poop isn't that funny. But
yeah. It's so fucking stupid. I love it.
Farts in reality, hilarious.
Hella funny.
And farts in like conceptually also very funny. So that edges out poop. So fart rates improve.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, Kyle.
And then when it comes down to it too, you have different terms for everything.
Yeah.
Like there's toots and poots and farts and and then you have different terms for poop. All different. There's just everything. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the oot really fucking gets me, dude.
Toot,
poot. That stuff is like, boom, let's go. Then you have like turd, crap.
Shit. Skeet? Is it scat? It's scat, yeah.
Very
skeet
different.
Is something else. Now on the level of skeet, farts, and fucking poop. No, just
put them all together. This party.
Everything whole. Yeah, sorry, Kyle.
Cloaca.
Yes. Fucking farts take it. What were we talking about? We were talking about butts. Yeah. Hold on. It was farts, poops. That got back to fucking spirit butts. Princess Mononoke nailed it.
Don't worry. One day they'll like Princess Mononoke. That's what the goal was. So
we watched the movie. I enjoyed it. I think Tim was telling me that like he had noticed like different like bits of it. He's watched it so many times, but he'd never seen it on a big screen.
Right.
So I was like, hey man, I never noticed this scene or this. Like one was like there's a part where the leper's talking and like there's a close up on his face and he's like crying and like the bandages that's covering his face are like getting wet. He goes, I'd never noticed. I was like, yeah, man, I'm glad you were like, even though it's something tiny, like you were able to take something away from that. And he was like, yeah, it was great.
It was an experience worthwhile.
And then after the movie theater, like his son was like, "Oh yeah, cool. Like let's race." And I was like, "Me and your father are having a conversation here. Like let us, converse." And then Tim being like the dad, he's like, "All right, go ahead and race. Run from here to there, and like I'll time you." And Tim's like, "I'm not gonna time him. I was like, "Oh, Tim, you gonna lie to your son?"
Gonna lie to your son, yeah.
So he ran and he came back. He's like, "How fast was that?" Tim goes. He looks at his wrist. There's no watch there. He just goes, that was like 30 seconds. And I was like, this kid's so dumb. Look at him, And he's just like, I could do faster. And then he ran again, comes back, and Tim goes, and Tim decides to go, oh, yeah, that was way faster. And for some reason, I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm interjecting here. And I go, nah, man, that was way slower. Tim's being nice. Like, that was like at least 45 seconds. And Tim goes, yeah, I guess it was a little bit slower. And he's like, Cohen's just like, God damn it. Like, he throws his jacket on the ground. I was like, all right, I need it. And Tim's like, hey, pick that up. What are you doing? He's just like, He's like, I'm sorry, Dad. I gotta fucking get faster. And so he does it again. And then he's just like, hey Juan, like he's like, race me. And I was like, in my head I was like, I don't want to race this kid. I was like, I'm 26. I haven't ran in like months. And I was like, I don't feel like it. And he's like, come on, do it. And I was like, fucking, this kid's calling me out, bro.
Just do it.
And
do it.
And so then I walked over to where he's, and I was like, maybe I'll do it. And then Tim starts going 3, and I go, wait, I got to stretch. So I stretch real quick, and he goes, go. And this kid takes off, and I start going off behind him, and I was like, I kind of like very quickly made a decision. Should I let him win? Should I win? What should I do? And I go, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna beat this kid. So I smoked this little fucker. I ran all the way down. I ran all the way back.
How many seconds was it?
Oh, I didn't count.
It was like 2 seconds, dude.
It was like 2.5 seconds. And then I came back and I touched the door. And then he came like a few steps, past behind me and touched the door. And I was like, oh, nice. And he just goes, I win. And I go, what? No, you didn't. He goes like, I won. And Tim's like, sorry, man, you lost. It's like, what? That's how that works. And I was like so sore the next day from running a little bit. I was like, fuck, man, I don't know if I'm ready for kids.
There's a bit that's, I think it's in Malcolm in the Middle. Maybe it's in something else. I don't know. And it's like Dewey, somebody that's playing games. They're playing like a card game and they're asking for cards and doing a certain thing. And then it just doesn't work. And clearly the other person wins. But Dewey's just like, I win.
Oh, no, that's Big Daddy.
Big Daddy, that's what it is. I'm just like, it's a little blonde head.
Yeah.
Kid.
I get what you're saying. He goes, I win. He goes like, what game are you playing? He goes like, we're playing I win. And he goes, yeah, that's it. That was Big Daddy.
Yeah, it's Big Daddy. It's for sure Big Daddy.
Yeah.
I can imagine him now all at the poker table.
Yeah. I like that bit where like they're teaching him how to speak, and he says like hip hop anonymous.
Yeah.
Damn you give him all the easy ones. That was my favorite.
So stupid.
Yeah, good movie.
Good times.
Yeah. Okay, so
you played I Win with a kid and you lost.
I lost, yeah. It was fucking bullshit. My mom bought me an iPad.
Oh shit. Why?
I wanted her old iPad. She was gonna get a new one. And I wanted to get her iPad so I could use it to draw.
Yeah.
And so I went over to her house and I was like, hey, like because she'd been telling me she wants a new one and she's gonna buy a new one. I was like, cool. So I went over and was like, hey, I'm ready, because I had to go help her buy it, you know, because like she doesn't know what she's looking for, even though it's just like iPad, she's not tech savvy. So I was like, hey, I just want to let you know that I'm free whenever to go buy your new iPad. Also, if you don't have plans for your old one, like I would love to like take it off your hands. Like if you don't need it, She's like, what for? I was like, oh, to draw, because I've been getting more into drawing. And she just goes, you know what? I've been thinking about it, and like, I don't really want to like.
I fucking hate iPads.
She's like, I don't really want a new one. I kind of like the one I have. I go, oh, okay, well, whatever. Like, well, whenever you do decide to like get a new one, I'll take your old one off your hands. She's like, oh, okay, cool. She's like, I could just buy you one. I go, yeah, you could. You don't have to. She's like, okay, yeah, I will. I was like, all right, cool. So
it's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I was like, oh, cool. So yeah, I got an iPad, and
what have you drawn on there?
Nothing yet, because I'm making plans to meet up with Tim because he also draws on an iPad, and he uses an app called Procreate, and he's just like, it's just an excuse to hang out and like be like, hey, show me how to use this app, and we can kind of chill and draw together. We used to draw a lot when we were in high school, and I was texting Sierra, like, she was like, oh, I'm gonna be home at this time. Like, cool. I was like, I'm at Best Buy. I'm buying a case for my iPad, and she goes, oh.
You bought an iPad?
She goes, oh, no. I told her beforehand because I already got in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Fucking drawing desk. God, I got in so much trouble.
You got in trouble for that one?
She was upset. She came to the house and she's like, And I was like, hey, what's up, love? She goes, don't you love me? I was like, oh no, I messed up. She heard the episode. Anyway, I go, oh yeah, I'm buying a new, like a case for my iPad. And she goes, oh, my iPad? And I was like, our? ?
Yeah.
And I was like, our iPad. I meant to say our iPad. And she's like, I was like, okay, cool. All right, good. I was like, oh, shit. Because what mine is hers and with hers is mine.
You have to say our or the.
The.
Now you just say the because it's anybody's and you don't have to fucking worry about it. No ownership. Literally anyone could touch this thing.
You come in, you take it. You go, hey, guys, I'm borrowing this for a week.
Sorry, borrowing the iPad. You know how it is.
Yeah, no, but like after I opened it up and like, started like downloading things, I didn't realize how thin they were. I was like, yeah, this for sure needs a case. Like I feel like I'm going to drop it.
Yeah, I'm going to crush it.
Yeah. So yeah, besides that, I mean, so got an iPad.
Saw a movie.
Yesterday we had like early Thanksgiving dinner with Sierra's mom, which is nice. She came over. She made pot roast. We watched. You
watched a bunch of anime.
Yeah, I put on Garden of the Words because I was like, this is like okay. I was like, it looks really pretty and it's like not super anime-y. Yeah. I was like, and if she decides to watch a little bit of it, maybe she won't be like bored or whatever. So she watched it with us. Like when she was done putting this, like I think it was primary, in the like or whatever she made. And then that movie ended. I was like, oh well, what do I play next? And I was on Netflix. I was like, I guess I'll play The Flavor of Youth. And I was like, we watched that, and I was like, oh cool. And it's like they didn't seem to mind. And then that one ended. I was like, maybe I'll play A Silent Voice. And then Sierra's like, no, you can't fucking play that. It's too sad. I go, yeah, you're right. We should just watch Criminal Minds. So then we watch Criminal Minds.
Yeah, of course.
The way a family does. I'm like, oh, dude, that guy's a psychopath. Cool. Let's eat.
That's the way it goes, man. That's
it, man. It's been real chill. Nothing to really like report. Besides that, I'm just going to let you know. Haven't really watched any other anime. I tried to. Couldn't really do it.
What a disappointment you are as a co-host.
What's up with you, man? What have you been up to?
Boy, I've been up to a hell of a lot. I honestly don't remember the first couple of days after we recorded our last episode. I probably did some shit. Don't remember what it is.
Yeah.
Who cares? Moving on. My mom is around. She's gone like all over the place, like Oregon to a bunch of national parks in California to Arizona, back to California, up to Oregon. Now she's back in California. And we hung out for a little bit. We went and grabbed some dinner. What's up?
You watched Frozen 2?
Yeah, we did. We grabbed some dinner and we went and got like first showing tickets to Frozen 2.
Matinee.
No, because it was on Thursday and it was supposed to come out on Friday. So it was at like 6.
Like the premiere, right?
Yeah. It was the very first showing that we could go to. And it was good. I'm not a huge Frozen fan. I liked the first movie. It's a good movie. Nothing's wrong with it. But it was way overhyped, when it first came out. People were losing their fucking minds. And I didn't understand it. And then when I saw it, after everyone already lost their minds, didn't have the same impact. I was like, really? This is what everyone... Okay, well, it's good.
You want to hear... I don't know if I've ever told you this.
Yeah, I haven't.
Because I told Sierra about this, and I thought she had already told her. Did you know that Frozen, like the first movie, was Ryan, our mutual friend, his go-to, like... go-to movie to like get a girl in the mood and then have like sex or whatever.
What?
Yeah. So like,
how?
I'm not sure how it kind of happened.
Disney movie.
I know,
for
dude.
Children.
So what it was like the movie came out like on Blu-ray and he bought it and he's just like I was like I'll watch it or whatever.
Yeah.
And it somehow magically became his. I
know.
He would talk to girls and be like, hey, you want to go over to my place? We go watch Frozen. And they would be like, oh, yeah. And then that would just lead to coitus. Like, they would just end up having sex. I was just like, dude, that's wild. And I remember I told Sierra about this. And she was like, really? I was like, yeah, I don't know. Something about Frozen got people, down for fucking some hanky-panky or whatever.
I would not. That's not how.
That's not your go-to sex movie?
No, if somebody was like, hey, come over and we'll watch Frozen, I was like, all right, sure, let's hang out.
Ooh, she wants to fuck. like the implication.
No, and then I just go, wait, really? What are you doing right now? Olaf is on screen.
Why are you naked?
Making me uncomfortable right now. What's happening?
Are you cold? Is it too cold in here?
This chick's really sad because she's like killed her parents or whatever. So stop.
Yeah.
I'm busy.
Anyways. Are you naked because you're crying so much? Is that what's going on? I don't know, man. That's just what this goes to. So
whatever. I don't like it that much. It's a good movie.
Apparently not.
Didn't freak out over it like everyone else did. But then the trailers for Frozen 2 started coming out. I'm like, oh shit. That looks way different in a way that I like.
Was the first trailer the one where she's like running up at the waves or whatever? Okay, that looked really like dark,
Yeah.
And
I was like, ooh, this is ominous. And then it shows shots of the forest and like people walking through it and stuff. And I'm like, this looks like a very different movie than the first one.
Can you, without spoiling it, because I'll eventually end up watching Frozen 2. Is it darker? Is it like, are there darker tones?
I mean, I guess.
Would you say like as a whole, like,
it's more so about war.
Okay, which is a darker theme.
And the elements.
Okay. Just because...
It's Avatar.
Okay, because...
long story short, this movie is Avatar The Last Airbender.
Oh, not the blue people. Okay.
Not the blue people. Okay. It's The Last Airbender, but Disney Frozen cast.
Okay, just because I had noticed that like Pixar or whatever had been they'd been doing a lot of stuff where they would like show trailers for their movies, like sequel movies that had darker tones. Like Cars 3, the first teaser trailer was super dark. It was.
I don't remember seeing
it. Was so the trailer is like the teaser trailer. It was of Lightning McQueen racing and then getting into a horrible car accident.
And he like dies or whatever.
It was like
in that
super
trailer.
brutal, you know.
What the fuck?
And I was like, whoa, I really want to watch this, you know. And I end up watching. And I go, that wasn't as dark as I like.
It's not as dark, but it has that sense of adventure and that like you do have to overcome totally different things than the first movie.
Okay, because that's how I felt about this Frozen trailer. Like I saw it, I was like, wow, that looks really interesting, like really good. But I was like, are they just gonna pull a fucking Cars 3 on me? And it's like, nah, man, it's a good time. Olaf's here, no big deal.
Yeah, in a way they kind of do that, but in another way, they have a lot darker areas, and it's not like a whimsical adventure the entire time. It's like, hey, some shit's going on. We got to figure it out. That's like very much the persistent tone of the movie to me. So that's why when Olaf's in it so much at the beginning and he's just fucking throwing out all these dumbass jokes constantly, breaking the like mood of the conversations of other characters, I was not feeling it. I'm like, you are not vibing, dude.
Okay.
Just read the room.
Fuck. I feel like I messed that up. I think, hold on. No, what I want to say is like Frozen and Frozen 2, those are Disney animated movies, right?
Yeah.
That's not Pixar, right?
Nah.
Cars is Pixar, though,
Yeah.
right? Okay, cool. I mean,
But Planes
they're
is
kind of
not.
they're kind of this. I mean, there's a lot of like similar between them. But what I'm saying is like, I know that like the big difference is music, right? Like there's songs in this one, right?
Yeah, it's a musical.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first one had songs, right?
Yeah.
Fucking Let It Go. Oh
Yeah.
my god, dude.
Olaf sings a song about wanting to be a snowman and chilling in the beach. or
Oh
whatever,
yeah, he can't wait for
right?
somebody to come.
Yeah.
That one's pretty fun.
Yeah. See, they're fun things. This one has a couple of really good movies, or really good songs in the movie too.
Is it like reminiscent of Olaf's Christmas adventure at the beginning of Coco? Because that was the worst thing ever.
No, no, that's PTSD, man.
Dude,
I just
that
have
was a
like
bad
war
time.
flashbacks while I'm watching Frozen 2. Just, oh God, Olaf ruined Coco.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Olaf? Stop it. Leave the dog alone. Anyways, the movie was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was a great time. And it's something that I would definitely want to see again, where I didn't feel that way about the first movie. I haven't heard any people freaking out and hyping this one up, and I like that.
Okay.
I don't want people to hype it up because I don't think it deserves all kinds of hype. I have a couple of qualms with it. One of them is Olaf. The other one I won't tell you because I feel like if I said something about it, it's something you would look out for the whole time.
Okay.
But after you see it, I would be like, this is my problem. You'd be like, yeah. And that's it.
For a second, I was like they make a new Olaf. It's like the Scooby Doo, Scrappy Doo situation. I was like, what? They make a more annoying Olaf?
Yeah, his name's Snowloff.
Fucking Christ! I forgot. You can talk about it though. We watched Jojo Rabbit together.
We did watch Jojo Rabbit.
We didn't talk about
that's one of the things that was on one of the days that I forgot about.
I was like, I feel like we watched a good movie together.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was really good. Jojo Rabbit was fantastic. Those of you that don't know what it is, it's a Taika Waititi movie.
Yeah.
He's the one that did Thor 3 Ragnarok, as well as What We Do in the Shadows, Hunt for the Wilder People. He is the New Zealand director, actor, funny man.
He's dope, man.
I fucking love him. He plays Hitler in this movie, but he plays a 10-year-old boy's imaginary friend Hitler.
Yeah. So yeah, be cool. Like
It's
Nazis are bad. That's how we feel about it.
It's a World War II and nationalism is fucking crazy. All kinds of propaganda and whatnot are working. So this little boy has Hitler as his best friend and he wants to be the best Nazi there is. And he's so fucking proud of being a Nazi, even though he's 10 years old. His mom's Scarlett Johansson and she's hiding a little Jewish girl in their crawl space, essentially.
Yeah.
In a secret little room. He finds out about it. And
wackiness ensues.
A little bit of wackiness. Mostly it starts out and it's a goofy fun time and then it turns into a really emotional and kind of character driven movie.
Oh yeah.
And I love because he does that in a lot of his movies where he's just like, look in this weird situation. Now you care about it. All right. We're going to make it emotional.
It's
like, good job.
Like, oh, you like that? Boom. Have some feelings. Boom. Suck a dick.
And it's exactly my kind of indie movie. I like that shit.
It was good. No, I was, something happened earlier last week. I was supposed to drive someone to the airport and they canceled on me. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to the bar. So I went to the bar.
Oh my God. Okay.
Well, Jiro texted me. He works at the bar. And he goes,
I just thought you were like, work, bar.
Well, he texted me. He's like, hey, come have lunch. I'm working at the bar. I was like, oh man, I can't. Got to drive to Sacramento. Take someone to the airport. And then they canceled on me literally while I was like driving to go pick them up. And I go, did you just decide not to leave? And it's like,
what the fuck?
Did you get another ride? He was like, I was like, all right. And I was like, well, I was around downtown. I go, I guess I could go to the bar. And so I went to the bar and, I had a couple beers. And then the bartender there, his name is Cheeseburger. I was telling Kyle about this. Kyle goes like, is that his real name? He's like, no, his real name's Cheese, dog. Like, but he's
God damn it.
He's this really nice guy. I think his real name's Mike or whatever. But he goes by Cheeseburger. I was telling George like, yeah, hey, I'm watching Jojo Rabbit later, and he goes, and then the bartender goes, Jojo Rabbit, like he perks up and he comes to me like, I can't really tell like where he's going. He was like, yeah. It's like, you gonna watch that? And I go, yeah. And he goes, well, I'll tell you something, man. He goes, it's probably the best fucking movie I've ever seen. And I was like, oh shit. I was really fucking worried. I was like, yeah, it was a good time. It's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm really excited. He goes like, literally went from being the happiest man in the world, and then 2 seconds later, wanting to cry my eyes out. And then when I got home, I cried my eyes out. I was like, oh shit, dude. And Cheeseburger's like a giant man.
Yeah,
I was just oh my God, this movie's going to destroy me.
I guess he just hasn't had too many movies that really hit that emotional part good.
Oh yeah. No, it was really, and so I went into it, was like, cool, I'm going to have a good time. Maybe cry a little bit. Didn't cry. No. But I did get choked up. I was like, oh fuck.
It was emotional. It did get really emotional at one part in particular.
Dude, Kyle like went still. Like he was like, we were having a good time. Couldn't not sit next to Kyle because Sierra didn't want to sit next to me. Yeah. The woes of marriage. And then Kyle, like the scene changes or whatever, and Kyle just like stops breathing, and I can feel him just like not move anymore. Shit. And he just like tense, and I go, oh my God, I hope Kyle's okay.
Yeah. Afterwards he's like, yeah, it was a fun, good movie. I really liked it.
Yeah.
That's like all you get out of him. Nothing like, man, it was powerful. It made me
it made me feel really good. Like
I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
maybe really question Hitler's motives. Like, yeah. I was like, you know what? Like, maybe he's a nice guy. I was like, nah, fuck this guy. This guy's a monster.
A really good job with
making me like Hitler at the beginning.
Every character really changes throughout the movie. But yeah, he got really still at the part where I wasn't sure because that part I was like, oh man, all right. Damn. And then there's another part later, which I was way more emotional at.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. That part for me was like, yeah, been there. Those of you that have seen the movie know exactly what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah? That fucking another Wednesday in my books. Fuck that.
Yeah, that happens literally all the time. Just ask my sister.
He goes, you'd never seen a fucking Violet Evergarden? Fucking pussies.
Loser. Anyways, later I got way more choked up when some letter stuff was happening. Yeah. That was more impactful to me. Yeah. Oh yeah. That was that good shit,
Fucking coward.
Anyways, World War II, fucking crazy movie, 8 out of 10.
What was his buddy's name?
Yeah, I don't remember his
like
buddy.
Augie?
Yeah, it was something like that.
So yeah, Jojo was the name of the main character. His little fat friend with glasses. So fucking good. Every scene he was in, he stole it. I was like,
he's like, oh my God, Jojo! And they just come up and hug.
He's just like this little fat kid with like big glasses and like a big chip in his tooth. And he's just like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Like just like catching up. He's just like, yeah, I'm a Nazi now, no big deal. I was like, aw.
I got this cool new uniform. It feels like paper. Yeah, but it's not. It's new, cool, super good material.
They told us it's paper-like. Yeah, but it's like armor. I was like, oh, bro, you don't know. Because
they were just like, we're using new kinds of science. Stuff's crazy. We're so good at this. And it like it brainwashed all the Nazis and
we know like, yeah, shit's going really bad for you guys. Like, you guys are starving, right? No, I love when he's like when near the war is coming to an end or whatever, and he's just like talking to Jojo and he's like, yeah, man, it's a really bad time to be a Nazi right now. I was like, yeah, I fucking bet. He goes like, hey man, I'm gonna go home. I just see my mom. I just need some cuddles. I was like, yeah, dog, I feel that. We need some cuddles.
The movie was fantastic. I really don't want to give anything away, but it does start out as very whimsical and fun, and it wraps you in with all these really great characters that you could tell have a lot to them, but you don't know exactly what there is to them until you get further in the movie.
Yeah, and great actors in it, by the way.
Yeah, amazing. Anyways, everyone should go out and see that. Jojo Rabbit's 8 out of 10 in my book, which is fucking
pretty good. Yeah,
it's good. I don't know. I'm more realistic with my ratings, so 8's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, we do talk about this. It's hard to get a movie like a perfect 10. That means like the perfect movie, right?
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Perfect movie. Bye, man. 10 out of 10.
Yep, 10 out of 10. Best anime of the year. Best anime of all time.
Dad, I'm not a flashlight.
She wasn't a flashlight. It was just crazy though. Why would she say? Anyways, Jojo Rabbit was a lot of fun. and then hung out with my mom. And I've been playing a lot of Pokemon still. I mean, when I say a lot, I mean it's the only game I've been playing, but I've been playing a lot slower than everyone else because y'all know how I be, right? I'm a slow boy, mostly watching YouTube and stuff. Anyway, so I found something out about. I think last week I talked about it. I got a shiny Magikarp, evolved it into a red Gyarados, and I'm fucking proud of that. You have a 1 in, I think it's either 3,200 or 32,000. I think it's 3,200 chance of getting a shiny Pokemon. And then I found out very recently that there's an even rarer version of a shiny Pokemon. And I have it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And I don't like it. I'm pissed. So there's a 1 in 16 chance that when you find a shiny Pokemon, which is already a 3,200 chance, there's a 1 in 16 that it'll pop up. It shoots out sparkles just like every other Pokemon that you throw out in the new game. But then it pops out a bunch of squares. And it shows like a bunch of fucking squares shoot out too. A normal shiny Pokemon, the 15 out of 16 chance? Stars.
Yeah, it looks nice.
I fucking want to have that. I want to have stars pop out of my goddamn shiny Pokemon.
You got squares?
Stupid ass squares.
Like squares or like cubes?
Squares. Cubes would be fucking cool.
Like flat, like 2D squares.
I'll show it to you after the podcast.
All right, sorry.
Man,
you seem really upset about this.
Mostly because I'm like, oh man, I'm so lucky I got a shiny Pokemon. And I'm like, I'm so lucky that I got the worst kind. Some people are like, oh man, it's coveted. It's so rare. I'm like, no, fuck you. Fuck you. This sucks. I don't want squares.
You suck. Squares are cool, man.
These aren't cool squares, man. They don't have glasses or anything. No sunglasses. Yeah, they don't even like it. They're no skateboards. They're just fucking plain ass squares.
Sorry, man.
Plaid shirt, bow tie ass motherfuckers. So that's been going on with me. I don't know. I haven't been up to a whole lot. It's been a pretty slow week overall, which I'm okay with. Just kind of chatting with homies, talking with friends. Without getting into too many details, I had to spend a long time in the ER with my dad. It was not fun. It was from I went over to his place around 7:30 and I got home around 5 a.m. It was rough.
He's okay, by the way.
He's totally fine.
Yeah.
He's doing good. But it was a really shitty time for everyone. Oh, man. But that's pretty much what's been up with me. I've been trying to catch up on sleep and catch up on everything else after that. So it's been not a whole lot of cool, fun adventures for me to tell you about. But since you don't have any anime to talk about, I'll talk about the anime that I watched this week.
Yeah. What'd you watch?
So first off, My Hero Academia, continuing on with the last episode where they had a little encounter with Overhaul and got a little bit they jumped over just too far. Mm-hmm. Then it went into Red Riot. The fucking Red Riot scenes were fucking awesome. Loved them. This gets into a more calm episode after a really, really intense, action-heavy one like that, where it's all these different heroes that are having a discussion about what they should do next because they know that there's a bunch of bad stuff going on with all these villains and they got to address it somehow. It was fine. It was a good episode overall. It has a moment where they do talk about how they see what Deku kind of is, and that's why All Might chose him. Like Gran Torino and Night-Eye? Hawkeye? Night-Eye.
Yeah.
Are talking about him for a second. But it's kind of cool. It's a good episode. It's just a talking episode. It's all right. And then I've been still watching Ascendance of Bookworm. I'm really liking it, actually. We're at the part now where they're pretty much done with their project. They got all the parts together that they could make all the shit. So they do make a bunch of paper. They're like, fuck yeah, we did it. Now we just need to write a book. That's awesome. But we made the product that we're trying to make for cheaper, better. It's all good. And it's been her and her little friend that's the same age. They're tiny ass kids. I don't know, 6, 7, 5. I don't know how old they are. Anyways, it skipped a lot of time where they were working on this project and finally got it done. The whole time, Lutz is the name of the character, has been all right, where's my mine? You're not acting like her. You're saying a lot of things that she wouldn't say. You're just being smarter than her. And I don't think that you are her. So are you her? She's like, of course I'm her. What the hell are you talking about? But she's also like, fuck, he knows
they know,
that.
Yeah.
That
I stole this body.
Kid know that it's not me. And then it gets into, hey, let's not talk about this. Let's focus on the project. We have to do it. Afterwards, you could ask me whatever questions about how I know all this stuff and how to do this. But right now, let's just focus on doing it. Okay, man? Like, we don't need to make it complicated.
Yes. Yeah, settle your
shit. And he gets
shit.
into it, and he's like, how do you know this? You just said a bunch of weird stuff, and it's pretty obvious that you're not mine now. And she's like, all right, man, so I'm not. You fucking got me. And I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, so what's going to happen now?
Mine's the name of the character, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have a little conversation, and he's like, well, give her back. I want her back. And she's like, I don't think I could. She's really, really sick. I'm really, really sick. I think what happened is she died, and I took over.
Her spot. Yeah.
So if I decided to go away like you want me to,
she'd be dead, yeah.
I think she would just be dead. And it was like a really like, wait, what the fuck? Hey, when did you take over for her? And she's like, it's been about a year. Yeah. And he's like, I've spent all this time with you, and I thought that you were somebody else. And I don't know. And she's like, but you liked that time with me, right? Like, we're homies. And he's like, yeah.
Boys.
We're fucking good. But that really messed with me. And she's like, look, I honestly don't know how long I have left. I'm super sick.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. She doesn't give like all the details, but she's like, I'm definitely not this person. I don't know what happened to me, but I somehow died and came here and inhabited this other body. So it's all like very weird right now where the show's at. We already know that magic exists in this world and a whole bunch of different stuff that's kind of like slowly being revealed. How they were able to make all of the wood actually was from this forest creature, which is like a bunch of roots that grow really fast and they like entangle people. So you need to chop them down as soon as they start growing. And they're like, oh, what if we just like farmed those?
Yeah.
So they're like, are you fucking crazy? She's like, it's the fastest way to do it, and we need to kill them no matter what. So it's like the most economically friendly. I don't know, guys. Like,
stop being a bunch of babies and do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what happened. And I like where it's at. It's at a very different point than it's been, where now somebody knows that she's not her and is kind of in support of her, but kind of doesn't trust her anymore, and knows that like their whole life is kind of being decided by this stranger. But also they've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
And it was interesting too, because when he asked like, how long have you been around? She's like, a pretty long time. And he's like, is it when you started putting those things in your hair to hold it up? And she's like, what the fuck? How did you goddamn know? Like, since back then. And yep. Yeah. That's pretty much the first episode.
I think it's pretty cool. There's like the idea that they're doing isekai, but they're doing this thing where like, yeah, she's taken over the body. It's like she's kind of, it's not like she got reborn and grew up. Because I'm really sick of a lot of isekais boil down to like you get reborn in another world and then like flash forward some years and now you're like 10 or whatever, or it's just like you're just in this new world. So this is a different
it's like
take.
You're the same person you were in this new world.
Yeah.
This is you are yourself but in a new body that died.
Yeah, and like and then no one really seems to notice, except for your close friend, right? Except
I really like it. It feels fresh to me. It's still a pretty slow show, but I really, really like it. It's not for everyone, so it's not something that I would tell you to watch. Yeah. But I really like what it's doing, and I'm super interested and want to watch more, like a lot more of this. Yeah. I really enjoy it.
Well, I for sure I enjoy like hearing about it, but I don't think I would like to watch it. Like,
no, because all these things that are happening.
That's what I like about her. Like you're telling me all the smart shit. I'm like, oh, nice, she's smart.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, essentially, it's like a more chilled out version of Dr. Stone
before it got like really fucking like
before it got wild. Yeah. Honestly, where it's at right now in Dr. Stone, moving on to another show, that's exactly what I was going to talk about next. They're working on making like batteries. Essentially, that's the next thing that they have to make. But he's making a light bulb right now. And
Shout out to Pink Girl. She's our favorite.
Whoop, whoop. She wasn't in this last episode.
Oh, well, fuck it. I'm not watching the show then. Show's stupid.
They're making light bulbs and having a really hard time getting the filaments to not pop. And they know exactly what they have to do, but they have to make different kind of metal. And he's like, we don't have any fucking resources to do this. This sucks. We were trying to use bamboo and a little bit of glass and like putting it all together. It still pops. There's nothing we could do. We just don't have the resources. And then little glasses melon girl, she's just like, okay, so we don't know, but I could find weird rocks and I'll find a weird rock. Essentially what happens is she just grabs a rock that she's like, this looks a little bit different. We'll have to check it out in a bit. Somebody went out and grabbed a shit ton of rocks. I don't think it was her, but she grabbed one of them and was like, this one seems different. And then they went to the top of, I don't know, the mountain or something. And they were watching the sunset for the new year, or the sunrise for the new year. And because there's a certain point, if you're at a certain height, when the sun's coming up, ultraviolet light hits things. So it did the thing that you always talk about that my dad has, glowy rocks.
The glowy rocks? Yeah.
So she hit up a glowy rock. And Senku is like, what the fuck? That rock is what we need. That's exactly what we need. Because, the show doesn't give a fuck. It's just like, hey, conveniently. Ooh.
Yeah, it's like, hey, one of those side characters happened to carry the rock that you're having. Like, hey, would be really cool if like one of the people inside the fucking, village just was really good at blowing glass. And they go like, yeah, let's make that happen, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Introduce fucking buff old guy.
That's what happens. So like every single thing is like, this is a problem. This is the solution that somehow just works out. Anyways, they found a cool gem in that. And he's like, we'll make tungsten the strongest fucking metal ever. So that's what they're doing now.
Yeah, dude, we can't do it. Oh, tungsten. Okay, cool.
Yeah, okay, we're back on track.
Yeah.
Every single time I see that, I'm just like, boo. This show, I like it.
But I hate it.
I would never recommend it to somebody at this point at all. Just because it feels lazy. Like it puts in a lot of hard work and it teaches you the science behind everything. And you could tell that like they work hard on a lot of different things. The characters all have unique personalities. Yeah. They try to explain it in a fun, interesting way. And they do a great job at that. But it feels so lazy in the actual plot and story of everything. It's kind of like the main motives took a sidebar and they couldn't find a smart way to introduce all these things that they need.
I think I was listening to a podcast recently about, I don't think it was like
Dr. Stone.
No, the most extreme primate. You know what that is?
No, us.
You know what Air Bud is, right? You ever heard of Air Bud? Uh-huh. So that guy, that director, he also made ones about like a monkey who skateboards.
Oh shit! Yeah. I have seen that.
That's MVP, most vertical primate.
Yeah.
So then he did MVP, and then he does like skating, and then the most recent one's MXP, which is most extreme primate. It's from a podcast called Primates, and they talk about like primates in popular culture.
Okay.
So they're talking about this director.
Fuck, dude, you are.
It's an interesting podcast. Yeah. I enjoy it. It's one of the funny Australian guys.
It's fucking wild. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God.
So this is a trilogy that they've been working on. This is the last one. And they were talking about, they had a guy that was on it as a guest. And he really hates convenience, right? Like when something just conveniently happens, it's just an example of like lazy storytelling where it's like, I can't naturally make this happen, or I can't come up with a good idea. So you just kind of go, yeah, it just happened to be that this was, and almost all this guy's movies are like this. It just happens to turn out that this happened at this time. And that's kind of how like, Dr. Stone feels, where it's just like, they just, Chrome just happens to have all these rocks.
Every material we need.
This person just happens to be really good at blowing glass. This character happened to drop the pumpkin on his head, and now he can see or whatever. Like everything just happens like by happenstance. It's like convenience is just like a laziness.
So it's cool when you see an episode like the one where they go and get phosphorus, where everyone's working really hard and they don't know if they'll be able to make it, and then something goes wrong, but they still make it. It's like, you know what? The thing that I like about this isn't that they knew exactly what they needed to do and they got it all together really fast and went and took care of it. It was instead like, we know exactly what we need to do. We're taking care of it. We got this, but it's still dangerous no matter what. And then there was that threat no matter what. Yeah. Instead of it just being like, oh yeah, conveniently they got away because the phosphorus had a wind that like blew it away. Like it wasn't any bullshit like that.
Yeah. Or it's like the, these guys, they needed a fucking form of energy that like continues to roll and they just go away and they build a water wheel and go, awesome, you guys worked for that, good for you guys, as opposed to like, yo, did we happen to find this water wheel here or whatever, and they go, whoa, Seiko's like, yeah, that's awesome, yeah, dope,
right? Instead of seeing it like in nature or something, it was like, yeah, we just need to find something that kind of works like this, and they just found out about this new thing called a cog, a gear, and then he puts it all together. That was fucking cool to see.
Yeah.
I want more things like that where it's like, oh man, all this logic is coming together. And of course, this one, Senku should have just been like, look,
we're looking for this specific
gems,
thing.
Yeah. He's like, we need something. And the only way to detect it is using a light that's really hard for us to find. So we just got to keep getting a bunch of different kinds of rocks and putting them in a place where the sun hits it at the right time. And they would be like, what the fuck? That's hard as hell.
It's like, yeah, but that's more realistic than being like, yeah, the main character, this, side character is having to pick up this rock. And she's like, and they go, oh my God, you're the best. We're making tungsten.
Yeah. Instead, she's like, I'm really good at finding weird things. And that was that. Anyways, Dr. Stone is the bad version of Ascendance of a Bookworm.
Or the best, because it's like more shonen. So
yeah, honestly, it totally depends on your taste.
Yeah.
But Dr. Stone's not a one where I would tell people to watch it. Ascendance of a Bookworm, I would tell certain people to watch.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying.
Dr. Stone, it would be more like... I mean, it's all right. Yeah, check it out if you want to, but I'm not going to vouch for it.
Yeah, I'm just one episode behind. So like the tungsten episode, like
you'll see it.
Even though you told me about it, I don't feel like I really missed out. Like, cool, I'll watch it.
If it had anything really cool and compelling, I would be like, dude, you got to see it. There's some really cool stuff that happens. Instead, it's like, we need rocks. Oh man, yeah. We'll go get some rocks. Really? Essentially, they made flashlights, so they were super stoked about that. So Crom's like, I'm going to go mine and get a ton of fucking materials we need.
That's what they should be doing. They should be like mining for stuff, because I'm kind of sick of being like, yeah, Crom has it, man. It's up there.
And the whole idea of it was Crom used to mine all the time, but now he doesn't. And he's like, I can fucking mine more. I can mine deeper and get more rare shit. And then Senku's like, no, there's not really much rare shit that you could get in there that we need, but go get a bunch more copper because we need that. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah. Comes back with a ton of different rocks and stuff. And then she's like, oh, look at this. I like it. Anyways, moving on from that, we got our beach episode of Powerful Girl Show.
Powerful. Oh, I got this. It's called Didn't I Tell You to Make My Didn't I Tell You to Make My Stats? Abilities average in another world?
In the next life.
Fucking Christ. I was so close.
That's the thing. I'm like, Powerful Girl Show.
Yeah.
Anyways, beach episode. Essentially what happens is they all need a little bit of a break.
So they go to the beach.
It's like they don't know what to do, so they're trying to take a rest in between missions, and they realize, oh, hey, we just like spending time with each other because we're so used to being around somebody. We don't know how to just be around ourselves anymore. So after they all go on their separate ways for a little bit, mostly just spending time alone during the day, they do a whole beach thing, and Mile, the main character, she was like carving shit, and then she was practicing doing like a super intense begging motion where she like bows down on the ground, but she like jumps in the air and she smashes down in a like begging pose. Anyways, they were talking about different stuff, and she's like, yeah, we got to make swimsuits. And they're like, what the fuck are swimsuits? And I'm like, dude, you got to have swimsuits. So she makes everyone swimsuits, and she like begs them to wear it and whatnot. They go to the beach. And she busts out her like super baggy move at one point, whatever. Then they go to the beach and they're all having a fun time. And they're like, yeah, we've never seen people do this, but we've also never been to the beach, so we don't really know. So this is a new thing for us. This is fucking awesome. I'm having a fun time. And then a bunch of people start coming to the beach. And I'm like, oh my God, why are these girls naked? Like, what are they doing? Like, wait, this isn't normal? And then she's like, it's normal where I'm from. I'm from a different region. It's totally normal. And that was the beach episode. Boom. It was the weakest episode.
Hella
so
funny.
far.
I think it's the best. I might start watching the show.
Yeah, you might.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the weakest episode by far. But I'm still having a good time with it, so whatever. I don't remember the name of it, but it's the Kimono Wrestler Show. He's a animal friend wrestler. The latest that we have with this, honestly, every episode's fucking nuts. But he finally introduces wrestling. He gets somebody that's like, "Hey, you're really strong. What's up?" He's like, I can do like a cool battle thing for the town, and businesses can get involved and like sponsor things, or you could set up your shops and it'll be a cool thing. People like seeing fights, so that's pretty cool.
Is a battle thing is like a wrestling competition?
Oh yeah. So they just get a bunch of wrestling teams together, and it keeps getting better and better. So like,
God, I wish
you liked it.
I wish I liked the show because I love wrestlers. I just recently drew a luchador for Instagram. I had such a good time drawing that luchador, and I was like, this is great. God, I wish I liked the show.
He trains up this lizard woman. This is the part of the show that I'm like, all right, show. Just her like midriff is scales, so the rest of her is all like human.
Yeah.
Right? So people don't know she's a lizardman. And he's getting all like mad at her and he's like, fuck you. And he's like about to do a move on her and then he feels her stomach. He's like, don't tell me.
She's an animal, yeah.
Yeah, and he gets really excited. He's like, oh my god, you're a lizard woman. Wah! And they train together and they become like wrestlers or whatever. And she's doing a fight against somebody else who's pretty strong. And he has this giant ass, I think this is the episode before the wrestling one. But anyways, he has this giant ass like buster sword. It's fucking enormous. And she has two little knives. And they're having a really dumb fight. Mm-hmm. But she's taking all of the different methods that people taught her. So she's, let's see, what characters are there? I don't know. They're just doing like normal fight stuff. And then the dragon girl is just like, yeah, bite her or bite him. So she like goes in, tries to get him at like his weak point, but she can't get there. And then eventually the demi vampire or whatever she is, she essentially said like, you just have to impress him and be like a sexy woman and that'll shock him and it'll leave him open for an attack. So she does like a sexy pose in the middle of the fight. And the guy's like, what the fuck is that? And attacks her and like disarms her. She's like, no, fuck. But it also threw him off of the game. So he goes in for a giant attack. And during that, she suplexes him. She's like, oh, his back is totally revealed. And then she just goes behind and suplexes the motherfucker. And then people are like, that was cool. And that's how the wrestling thing comes down to it. Long story short, as soon as she does suplex him, the sword goes flying out and immediately the girl catches it. Yeah, okay. She already catches it. Doesn't even say anything. She just has it.
Nice.
It's just so funny that they still go on with it. I love it. And she's like, hey, somebody lost a spear in the next episode. Yeah. Just constantly picking up the weapons people are dropping. Always funny. Good jokes.
Oh, man. Maybe I'll just watch that episode because I really want to watch.
The wolf guy that he was rubbing down and was making all feel good, you know? He's got severe PTSD and does not want to leave the house. He's too afraid he's going to get like sexually assaulted by somebody again. Yeah. So he just hides under a blanket the whole time. He's terrified until our hero comes bursting in the door and he's like, what's up, you guys? He's like, no, not even my home is safe. And he's like, I want to wrestle you.
Oh my God.
Like, no, I don't want to. It's a whole thing. It was a fun time.
Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
It's a great show. Next up, Stars Align, the tennis show, the soft tennis show. We're finally get to the point where the characters are playing against a separate team from a different school. And it's pretty cool seeing how they're able to go up against somebody since they've always been a shitty team. This other school has like 30 plus people. They're a lot. So not everyone gets to play, but they're only second years. They're not even bringing in the third years because they're like, it's not worth it.
Yeah, team's not
that good.
Yeah.
A little bit of practice for our younger ones, whatever. And they all play against each other, and some learn things about how to play. Other ones just have a lot of trouble and get frustrated. But everyone's morale is kind of being brought up. They're like, we're actually holding our own against this really good team. Like, okay, in one way or another. So it was a pretty fun episode as far as seeing 2 episodes of that, actually. As far as seeing them interact with another team. Mm-hmm. It was exciting. It was fun. It was fresh. It's new for the show. And it's still good. Also, the chick who has the crazy dance moves in the outro.
Yeah.
Who I love.
The heavyset girl.
It dives in a little bit more into what her story is and how her grandma wants her to have like tea parties and stuff.
And she's like, I want to dance.
Proper little tea thing. Anyways, no, she's not like, I want to dance. It's just fun seeing her all dressed up completely different, all like for this tea party and whatnot. And she's just eating little delicious looking cookies and cakes that are all fun colors. And I'm like, oh man, I like that. But then her mom and grandma are arguing and whatnot. And it's a whole other thing that I'm sure is going to get really dark really soon because that's the way the show likes to do it.
Someone's going to get hit in the head with a tennis racket. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Maybe grandma.
One of the characters has a pretty big moment where you show like that he's more confident and that he's able to, just trust people more. And I really liked that. Well, not people, but you know, the people that are around him.
Like his team.
Yeah. I really like the show. I want to see more. It's for sure still my favorite of the season, but that brings us to Vinland Saga, which, man, good times. The newest episode came out today, so I haven't watched it. But the last episode, there was the fight between Thorkill and Thorfinn. I'm like the two Thors.
The two guys, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the little kid and the giant man who throws a log as a spear and it kills like 30 people. You know that guy?
That guy.
So they have a little duke out, and it was so fun to watch and so cool. They also have a lot of growth for different characters and have been showing just very interesting new takes for the prince and Askeladd. Like, there are some really good things in there that, I don't know, man. I'm having a good time with it. It's a really good show. And it's gotten to the point now where even though Thorfinn's a fucking monster, he's an animal that just wants to murder and kill, I feel like they're coming to a point where he's going to change. Essentially, he asks Thorkel, how the fuck do you know my dad? And he's like, dude, your dad's the fucking best, dude.
Yeah.
Your dad fucking rocks. And like they bro down for a minute while they're, fighting or whatever.
Yeah. Sometimes you get in the middle of a fight, you're like, yo, dude, we bros now? Yeah, we bros now.
Yeah. But they're not bros now.
Are they bros? They're going to be bros.
Well, it's kind of hard to say. Without spoiling anything, it's kind of hard to say why they're not bros.
Oh, one of them died. Probably the main character. Thorfinn's dead.
Hard to say.
God, guys, Thorfinn's dead.
Still don't know who's live or who's dead.
Breaking news, Thorfinn's dead.
Don't know who's live. Don't know who's dead.
Probably not
That's all
Thorfinn.
good.
Probably Thorkill.
Thorkill?
Probably gonna die, yeah.
Probably, yeah. I honestly don't know. That's another thing with
They
the
both
show.
die, and that's the name of the show.
And then, what other anime have I been watching, you
Babylon?
ask? No. The first episode of Attack on Titan with my mom. And she is watching Attack on Titan now.
Really?
She really likes it.
She liked it, huh?
Uh-huh.
I don't think my mom would ever enjoy it.
Oh, my mom likes that kind of shit, yeah. I mean, she loved The Promised Neverland. And I'm like, hey, check out Attack on Titan. I don't know 100% if it's your style, but just try it out. I think you might really like it if you give it a little bit of a chance. So she's watched a few episodes. I don't know how many she's watched today, but as of last night, she's watched 4 episodes. And I was like, yeah, I really like Armin and Mikasa and Sasha, like from the kind of starting crew. I feel like they were my favorites that I didn't want anything bad to happen to. Yeah. And then, of course, like Aaron's the main character, so you want him to stay alive so the plot progresses. And then there's John and fucking Marco or Mark, whatever his name is.
And there's Jean also.
Jean, whatever. And Connie, and like there are people in the crew. I didn't care about Connie until later.
Okay.
And I really like Connie at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I like Connie around like latter half of like season 2.
Sometime in 2.
Yeah. I think
season 1 is that all the way through the female Titan. Didn't care.
When's he see his mom? Like that's season 2?
Or the beginning of 3? I don't remember.
I don't know. I liked by that time. I liked him.
He had grown at that point. Yeah. I feel like they gave him more screen time and more time to talk versus just in the middle of like violence.
I'm a fan of his hair. He doesn't have hair. It's
none of it.
Close shaved head.
Yeah,
I was like,
man.
Nice.
But I was telling my mom, I'm like, oh yeah, I like these characters, and she's like, Armin's a dandelion, and I'm like, what? And she's like, or was it Daisy? I'm like, is that something somebody said? And she's like, yeah, somebody said in the second episode.
Like, don't remember.
A lot happens. Yeah. I just texted her. I'm like, hey, man, a lot happens. Just keep watching it. Have a good time. Text me about it. So I'm super excited. I will update everyone on my mom's journey through Attack on Titan.
I feel like I have to show my mom Attack on Titan now.
You kind of have to. And then we could see which mom likes it more.
My mom was like, this was horrible. It's the devil. El Diablo.
Yeah. Fun ass time. I think that's all the anime that I've been watching.
And your mom's been watching.
And my mom has been watching as well.
This is a new update. Hey, what's your mom been watching?
I always have, what's your mom watching?
What's your mom watching? She's watching her favorite soap opera again.
Hell yeah. That's all the anime that I've watched. So, you want to talk about news?
I don't think do we have some news?
Yeah, we have some news.
Let's get the news out the way.
All right. So first off, pretty big news personally. And by personally, I mean, won't affect me, but I think it's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So the Pokemon Company and TV Tokyo are going to upload the Pokemon anime episode every week to YouTube so everyone can watch it for free.
I actually saw that. That's pretty cool. Good for them.
Yeah.
Especially because they broke Pokemon, fucking assholes. That new game sucks.
Whoa.
I'm just being the internet right now.
You are. Yeah. And you're doing a good job. A
lot
of other people are coming out and they're like, hey man, despite all the controversy, who liked this game? Because I really had a good time with it. And a lot of people are like, yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then other people are still out there like, fuck fuck Game Freak. It's like, yeah, I know they're kind of shitty.
You're like, yeah, you don't have to yell. I get it.
Like, I totally get it. Fuck Game Freak. I'm with you there. But
fuck Game Freak.
The game is a lot of fun, and it's kind of the best iteration Pokemon that we've had.
In your opinion.
In my opinion.
And
there could, of course, be a lot better stuff, but
And they're putting every episode on YouTube. That's really nice of them.
Fucking wild. So that's cool. A couple of things about Kyoto Animation. So Kyoto Ani is now accepting applications for their animation school, which I think is pretty fucking cool. But it also makes sense. They've come across a lot of hard times, so they do need more people in their team.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly how it's going to be, but hey, more applications for animation school. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Especially if we get some new talent that's able to shine through Kyoto Animation now. And we know Kyoto Animation's amazing, but hey, man, what if they have the next Hayao Miyazaki?
Shut the fuck up.
What if they have the next Makoto Shinkai?
No, because we already have Makoto Shinkai. So Makoto Shinkai is the next Hayao Miyazaki. So we need the next Makoto Shinkai is what we need.
Okay, maybe we'll get one. Who knows? Also, they are officially going to start demolishing Studio One after the arson. So they're just getting rid of it.
Maybe build something new or something.
Or a memorial site or something like that.
Yeah. That's a good call, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they're getting rid of it. No need to focus on the negatives.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that they're getting rid of it. Cool. It's awesome. Next up, Weathering with You actually won the Asia Pacific Screen Award. So that's pretty cool. Good job. Also, Penguin Highway was nominated for it, but Weathering with You beat it out.
Okay, for a second I was like, have we seen Penguin Highway? Yeah, yes. We saw it. Okay.
We saw it. Yeah. And it was good.
It was good.
It was not deserving of a win. Good.
We haven't seen Weathering with You, but I feel like I have.
You've seen it.
What happened?
You saw the trailer.
Yeah. What happened was when Chirp and I go into watching this movie, we usually know the name of the movie, maybe who the director is.
Sometimes we'll see a teaser or something, like with Penguin Highway. We were like, all right, so it's all in Japanese. Don't understand. Whoa, she threw a soda and it turned into a penguin. Yeah. I'm watching it.
And then we'll also sometimes like see who the studio is, right?
Yeah.
That's usually the bare minimum we know when we go into the movie. So I didn't know anything about Weathering with You. I just know it's Miyazaki, right? No, it's a Makoto Shinkai.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I know it's him. You know, I'm like, oh, cool. It's the rain one,
rad,
right? That's all I knew. Apparently, the Fathom events had like trailers, and one of the trailers was for Weathering with You, and I was like, oh, cool. You know,
right?
It's like I was like, I want to see this. It's going to come out in January or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And then they told you the whole movie,
and it was subbed. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I hadn't seen any sub before.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed like the teaser trailer was tiny. And this thing went on. Man. I swear to God, it went on for like 3 or 4 minutes. It was so much. And I go, oh my God, like, I know exactly what this movie is. Like, why would they do this? And Tim's over here like watching it. And then like he leans over and is like, hey, it looks pretty good. And I go, yeah, it looks fucking amazing. I'm upset. It's fucking ruined for me now. So I don't want to tell you, but
what a bummer.
It's essentially Promare. It's just fucking, it's Fire Force.
It's just Promare. Yeah. Yeah, so Weathering with You won awards, and based off of your trailer experience, do you think it was worth it?
Yeah, it was fucking best movie of
the year. We get to go see that in January. For those of you that don't know, I think it's January 15th and 16th. Fathom Events is going to be showing it. So
yeah, we should buy those tickets whenever we can.
Yeah, we should.
We should.
Eventually.
Yeah, we'll get them.
One day.
If
we have to go to another town for
No, fuck that. I don't want to go see Kate.
Well, no, we wouldn't go see Kate.
Because Kate's going to bring Abe, and me and Abe aren't friends anymore.
Not anymore? Why?
Because he didn't... I don't know. I don't know. It's complicated.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Hey, you remember when we went to go see No Game, No Life 0?
Oh, yeah. That was... Ugh.
And at the beginning, they were just like, yeah, my character dies this way.
Oh,
and you're like,
yeah.
Hang on, shut the fuck up. Did it feel like that kind of betrayal? Where you were like, guys, stop. Literally, what the fuck are you doing? Stop telling me about the movie.
I don't know, just because, oh, man.
That was some of the most fucked up shit that's ever happened,
did that? Didn't the, I want to say...
It was a Pixar thing or something, or a Disney.
No, I also want to say that, like, what's it called? Something about my pancreas.
Oh, I want to eat your pancreas.
I want to say at the beginning of I want to eat pancreas, they also had an interview with like the voice actors from the English dub. I'm watching the sub. Why the fuck are you even here? And they're just like, yeah, you know, my character does this. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up, bro. No one cares. No, okay, that was that. What's that called? Something.
No Game, No Life 0.
It was really upsetting, and it was only upsetting because like. Why would you spoil that? And then why would you play that before the movie starts? Like, yeah, well, my character dies. And you go, why would you say that, right? That was really shitty. But but I don't care about No Game No Life. Like I had like nothing invested into it.
Yeah.
So like I'm more upset about the Weathering with You because now I know what it's about, and I go fucking.
Yeah. I was trying to keep a secret. Fuck you guys. Yeah.
Well, you know that fucking surfing movie by the fucking Devilman Crybaby.
Yeah.
All I know about it's Devilman Crybaby,
and it's like a couple,
and there's like surfing. That's it. That's all I want to know.
That's all I want to know too.
Fuck. That's all I knew about Weathering with You. I'm like, yeah, it's Makoto. No, it's Makoto Shinkai. Like, and it's like rain. Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. I'll watch that.
It's gonna be gorgeous. Yeah.
Fucking. I'm upset. I don't want to do the show anymore. I quit.
So Netflix is going to debut Teasing Master Takagi-san anime season 2 on December 6th.
Does that mean they're gonna start airing it and like all of it, or it's gonna be like, hey, we got it. We'll see you in 6 months.
It came out in July.
Okay, fuck them.
It's been out for a while.
Okay, good. I knew I was missing out on it.
Yeah.
Shit, Netflix. They didn't have it last time. It was on Crunchyroll, right?
Yeah.
Fucking assholes.
They're like, hey, start it on Crunchyroll in December 6th. Move over to us.
Yeah, fucking Netflix is like, man, we're losing all our Disney shit. Bring, give us something. We'll take something. And they took fucking Takagi-san or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess I'm happy. Fuck them. I'm still upset.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up, right?
That's the biggest betrayal. Fuck the Weathering with You thing. I'm sick of Netflix keeping shit from me.
Like B-Stars. They're on episode 7 and people are freaking out. They're like, dude, this fucking intro for this last episode was out of this world.
Fucking Carol and Tuesday, isn't it done too? Also,
yeah.
Fucking God, I'm mad.
Hey man, Laid Back Camp. You remember when we went to the
Laid Back Camp at Crunchyroll? Yeah, I'm laying back.
So it's a manga, right? Mm-hmm. All right. It's getting a live action series in January.
I saw that. Yeah. I saw some of the people who they casted for it, and I was like, I had to talk to Sierra. I was like, yo, that's the show with like the girls in school that like camp and stuff, right? I'm like, yeah, and I go, they're pretty young, right? Yeah, like look at this bitch, and like I showed her a picture of like the main character, like she looks like she's 40. Like what? Like she looks older than she should be. And like some of the other characters, I'm like, oh, like maybe like this character, I don't know. Like a couple of them do look young, but the main character, like I'm like, she looks way too old. I think that's just in my opinion. We'll watch this eventually because we watch live action stuff eventually. Like 2 years from now.
Every once in a while. Yeah.
We'll check it out.
They're not easy for us to find.
They're also not good. So it's like
we're not super motivated.
There's no real like, man, I have to watch this.
Got no investment.
The one I was most excited to watch live action was live action fucking
Orange Erased.
No. It was fucking King's Game. And it was so bad. It was the worst. It was like TV version movie. Like Hallmark could do a better job.
Stop it, guys. Just fucking stop it. Get some help.
Dude, was there another one also? No, there wasn't, right?
What do you mean?
Another. Remember
there. I don't think we've seen it.
There is one though, right?
There is.
It looks so bad.
Oh man. I can just imagine that
next week we're gonna be in live action another.
All right, that's all the news that I have for this week.
Cool, man. Let's get to this week's fucking topic.
What is it?
When Marnie Was There, done by Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, and Studio Ghibli, as you all know, because we've been talking about them a bit. It's got Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, Totoro. It's got a bunch of other shit. Mm-hmm. But this director is not Hayao Miyazaki because he's been out of the game for a minute. What was his last movie?
Red Turtle.
It was like, I think it was like Ponyo or something. And maybe, no, it was past that. I'm a fucking big old dum-dum. I don't remember anything.
Technically, he's making a new one, right? Like
he is working on something.
I couldn't tell you what his newest was. It was not the no. I don't know which one it is. It's not Porco Rosso. He didn't do that one.
That was from like the 90s or 80s or something. Yeah,
I don't fucking know. I haven't seen that one. so the reason we're doing this Ghibli movie is because
we've actually talked about this one before.
Yeah, but I haven't seen this one.
Juan wasn't around.
Yeah,
that was on a guest episode
way back in
like
the day.
The 30s episods.
Yeah, so I hadn't seen this one. I was really in a Ghibli mood because when we were at Friendsgiving with Kate, we met Neil, and Neil was talking about Ghibli, and then I watched fucking Princess Mononoke, and I was like,
lots of good Ghibs.
I was like, you know what? I feel like I want to watch a Ghibli movie, but I know that we have talked about them in the past, and you talked about them even more with somebody else.
Yeah.
And so I gave you a list of like, hey man, I haven't seen these 5. I haven't seen more than 5. Like there's for sure more than that. Yeah. But I was like, these are 5 I haven't seen.
I'm like,
that I'd be down to watch.
For sure not watching Grave of the Fireflies because that's fucking depressing as hell. Yeah. And I'm done. Mm-hmm. Not going to do it again. Porco Rosso was another one. And I'm like, I mean, it's good. Yeah. It's not my favorite. It's way better than people give it credit for.
Yeah.
It's great. Secret World of Arrietty or just Arrietty, depending on who
You're
you
not
are.
a fan of, yeah.
Not my favorite thing.
Next one was what? Because I gave you 5.
Wind Rises.
Yeah, I just was
Also, I feel like that one's fine. It's all right. And then When Marnie Was There, which is my favorite out of those selected, and it's my favorite Ghibli movie, honestly.
So we decided like, okay, cool, we'll just do this one.
So it's directed by Hiromasa Yonebayashi, and he hasn't directed a whole lot of movies, but he's worked on a lot. So he did The Secret World of Arrietty, or directed that. He also directed Mary and the Witch's Flower, which is that new Studio Mononoke, which has some people that had worked at Ghibli kind of leading the teams there.
Which I want to say that you and I, as a whole, really didn't like, right?
Did not. It felt like Ghibli light.
Yeah, like not like, LITE, not like that's how, it's just like feels like the beta version. It feels like we could buy the real app for $1, but we can just deal with the ads instead.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyhow, When Marnie Was There, I've talked about this movie before, and I think it was right when I saw it for the first time. I didn't know much about it. I just knew that it was a movie that was out there, and I watched it, and I fucking loved it.
Well, you bought it because like I was talking.
I had to buy it because there was no other way to watch it.
You had a Blu-ray of it. I was like, oh, cool. And you told me this is literally your second time watching it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you bought it? And he was like, yeah, I had to buy it to watch it. And I was like, good, it's the best. And you'd never seen it again.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
It's the best.
But yeah, it doesn't stream anywhere. I don't think there's anywhere that streams it.
No. I mean,
maybe
HBO's going to, right? Yeah. They're doing Ghibli stuff. Anyways, really, really enjoyed it. It combines a more realistic story and characters with kind of a fantastical element, but it's like really, really little as far as the fantasy element of it goes, in my opinion.
It kind of almost blurs the line where you're just like, is this really happening? Is this, made up kind of stuff?
Versus like Spirited Away, where you're like, this is absolutely, definitely happening.
Yeah.
But also maybe not. And then by the end, they're like, our car's covered in moss. And then you're like, yeah, so that for sure happened. Absolutely 100.
But it's also super like extravagant. Like it's like way out there. Like there's rolling heads. There's giant fucking goo monsters.
All kinds of different Shinto spirits and stuff.
It's amazing, right? And then this one's like, yeah, we got fantasy. Maybe. You don't know. Shut the fuck up. And you go, okay.
Right? It's not like, oh, there was a dust bunny over there. No, it's like less than that.
Yeah, exactly.
So the story is about this girl that's kind of having some issues. She's got asthma. She's not feeling great. She's kind of depressed.
Yeah, she's in her teens, I would say, right?
Yeah, she's young, probably
12, 13.
I think maybe she would be like early high school or junior high, somewhere in between there.
That's like 12 and 13, man.
Yeah, I'm like,
you asshole.
I want to say like 14 or 15.
No, I think that's too old.
Yeah, okay. Probably.
Yeah, shut up. I
don't know how old girls are.
Well, yeah, they didn't draw her boobs, so I don't know how big her boobs are. That's how I tell.
That's how you tell?
No, because fucking anime lies all the time.
Yeah, anime is everything, man.
Yeah.
Anyways,
she's not an adult. She's not a child.
And it's summer, so we can't tell how old she is based off of her school. Her mom goes ahead and sends her away with some other family, but we quickly learn that her parents have adopted her.
Yeah, it's not her biological mother.
Exactly. And she's having some issues with that, kind of being adopted and just feeling like she doesn't have a place in the world exactly. So she has never met her family. She comes out and she's like, hey, and they're like, hey, what's up? We know you. You're our family. And she's like, okay.
Yeah, she gets sent to live with some relatives, so like her aunt, right? And I was telling you, like, I got sent on a trip once to like Mexico, and my dad's like, hey, I was like, how old was it? Like 14 or something.
Yeah, you said you were 14.
And my brother was like 11 or 12, and then they go, hey, when you get to LA, your aunt's gonna pick you up, and I go, okay, well, I don't know. I've never met her. She's like, she knows what you look like. I was like, yeah, cool. Just send me out there to see a stranger. So when this stranger picks up the main character, I'm like, bro, I know exactly how that feels.
I have been there. It's not good.
They go, hey, what's up? And like, they're being super nice. I'm just like, hi, fucking creeper. And they go, how you doing? Like, you remember me? And you go, no, not a fucking bit. But okay, let's get in your car. Let's go to your home.
But this is a cool kind of like oceanside, lakeside, hard to tell, swamp side town.
Also, I want to fucking let people know from the jump. His aunt is like a heavier chick. Like she's kind of big, and I fucking love it. I'm all about it.
Yeah, they had a couple of larger characters in this, and I feel like Studio Ghibli is pretty good at putting in different sized people.
Body image is really important, like to people. And I was like, cool, it's nice. Not everybody's thin. Not everybody's fits. Like some people are just a little rounder. And I was like, nice. I like her being round, and I love her dude, and I love her fucking dumb fucking husband.
Yeah, who's just like an arts and crafty kind of guy.
Yeah, he does woodwork and stuff.
He does a lot of that, and he's also like, oh man, this wind chime I found. Like he's done lots of different cool little house projects.
Yeah. He's also kind of dumb, and she's just like,
she's like a big dweeb.
She like puts fucking checks him all the time. He's like, why'd you buy so much stuff? You're not gonna eat all this stuff. He's like, no, why do you accept the gifts? Like, why do you accept all these gifts? You're not gonna eat all this. And he goes like, hey man, fucking rude. It's rude to say no. It's like, yeah, it's true. This guy fucking gets it. And it took us a while to figure it out.
Well, we watched it in English. I've seen it in Japanese. It's great both ways. Yeah. Really, any Ghibli movie, you could put it on English. Yeah,
good dub. Yeah, so like in the middle of the movie, they talked a bit, and then we hear him later, and he says a line, and I go, who the fuck is that?
He was like, well, I just dropped a bunch of strawberries.
And I was like, okay. And I was like, yo, dude.
But then you realize it sounds a little bit Steve Brule.
Yeah.
I just dropped a couple of strawberries.
I couldn't remember his name. I was like, yo, Tripp's like, it's the Step Brothers guys, but it's not Will Ferrell. It's the other one. And we're like, we looked it up.
It sure is.
It's John C. Reilly, right?
Yeah. We didn't look it up. You were starting to look it up.
And and
I'm like,
John C. Reilly. Put me on blast.
Like, fuck. Yeah. No, it was just because it was the race. And you're like, I just looked it up.
Yeah, I just opened his Wikipedia page, and you're like, John C. Reilly. I was like, fucking Christ. But
yeah, it was like the time.
But it's his voice. And after the fucking, my glass house was shattered, and I was like, God, I can't not see him as the Step Brothers guy. And he's wearing a bandana, the whole time, and he's got like a bun. I was like, yeah, I bet you anything he takes that bandana off, fucking hair fucking poofs out with that big curly thing. And I was like, it was still fine.
That being said, those are a couple of minor characters.
And we enjoyed them. Yeah, like
they were great.
They don't get much play. Yeah, and there's
that's the thing with this is that there aren't many characters. It's essentially two characters the whole time. It's Marnie and our main character,
who we don't know her name. No, what's her name? We know her name. Come on, bro. Come on.
Does it end with Ko?
No.
Hisako?
It sounds like American.
John Franklin.
No, I can't pull up my phone because I'm going to fuck it up. Anyways, well, I'll keep doing the story while
you tell me about this movie, because don't focus on any side characters and we'll get there.
Yeah, so our main character, who we don't have her name yet,
John,
is living in this town, and she's doing her best. She suffers from asthma, right? So they say, hey man, the ocean breeze will help you. So she likes to draw, so she goes to like the marsh, which a marsh is kind of like a lake, sort of. Anna. Fucking knew it was like
it's American as fuck.
Yeah,
Anna.
So she goes to this marsh, and she gets kind of drawn to this house. It's like a really like pretty looking house, but it's all run down. It's the marsh house, And her uncle, along the way, had been joking about like, hey, be careful. There's fucking ghosts there, fucking. And his wife is like, shut the fuck up. It's like, don't listen to him. He's an idiot. Just be careful. They're super chill with her, like, just kind of coming and going as she wants.
Honestly, one of my favorite things, too, is they're like, oh, yeah, go stay up in our daughter's room. You never see the daughter the whole movie, and I fucking love that. They're like, oh, yeah, no, the daughter's just off. She's like a yoga instructor now. It's pretty cool.
In Tokyo, yeah.
Yeah, so they just tell us a little bit about it, and it feels like this world is really genuine and alive, and like you're not going to see much of this other person that doesn't exist for the movie.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You might hear her mentioned a couple of times and like, oh yeah, I think that we might still have some of her old stuff that you could use.
Yeah.
That's essentially it. And I really, really liked that.
Yeah. So Anna is, she gets rowed out on the lake. She meets, what's it called?
I think a little ferryman.
I think she walks off. She walks to the marsh house and she sleeps there or something.
So what happens is she's heading over there and she's just checking it out and kind of looking around. She's like, oh fuck, the tide is rising.
Yeah, and she comes out and she's like, fuck, I can't make it back. And this fucking boat guy, what's he look like? He looks like Yellowfish,
Yellowtail from Steven Universe.
Yeah, he's just like this,
but like a Ghibli version.
He's like this, salt of the earth kind of like fisherman. He just like doesn't say any words, and he just like gives her a ride, and in the little rowboat.
Which also felt very mystical Ghibli.
It felt really good. I was like,
I love it.
I was like, I don't know what your deal is, bro. I know who hurt you, but I love your shit. like, I'm fucking digging it, you know? He's like
I got your back. We've all been there.
He's got like he's got two little beady eyes, you know? I was like, oh man. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, she's spending her time in this town, and she starts being drawn to this marsh house, and she starts seeing...
I don't know, she's a little girl in the window.
Yeah, she's seeing a girl in the window. I think sometimes she's dreaming of this girl, and eventually she finally like meets this girl.
Yeah, she heads over there, and then she's like, hey, come here.
Yeah.
And she's like trying to wave, and then she sneaks out. And she's like, hey, my name's Marnie. What's up?
It's like, yo, what to do? You know,
I'm Anna. Sorry, I've been staring at your place. It's just really beautiful. She's like, yeah, cool. Hey, we'll hang out.
Let's be friends, bro. Let's fuck. Let's do this.
We'll chill.
Yeah. And so they hang out and they start being friends and stuff. And Marnie seems very like free and very like outgoing and like very different from Anna. And like, I think Anna kind of like appreciates that about her. Like,
yeah, it's like an extrovert taking in an introvert kind of feel to it, where it's like, ooh, I'm more reserved. It's like, don't worry, I'll include you with all the cool stuff. Like, I got you. You my homie. Yeah.
And so they become friends, and you know, they start spending time together. And I think, you know, one time, like the biggest time they hang out is like, or most important is like she gets snuck into like a party her parents are taking.
Yeah, there's like a weird social gathering type thing. Yeah, there's a big old spread of appetizers for people to just come pick up finger foods. And
I want to say, no, maybe it's later, but they had like entertainment and stuff, you know, like everybody's just drinking their fucking I was going to say martinis, you know, drinking wine and champagne, and Marnie is like trying to sneak her, you know, Anna in, and she like locks her grandmother in her room because her grandma's like, you're not being a proper lady, be a proper lady, you know. And it's like, fuck you, grandma, I'm a bad bitch. I do what I want. And so, you know, Marnie introduces her friend, who is again like a very introverted person, as this flower girl, and like every starts bum rushing her to buy flowers from her because they're all being like nice.
They're like, oh, we must buy one for this person, you know, to impress them.
Yeah. And she feels uncomfortable. She ends up like running away.
Like, here, just take all the flowers. Bye.
Yeah, she ends up running away and like spending some time outside. And she sees from like outside that Marnie's dancing with the guy. She kind of gets like jealous.
And then Marnie wants to dance with her outside.
Yeah, and they do,
which I thought was really awesome.
Yeah,
it was
cool.
really sweet.
Yeah, she's like, Anna's like, I've never danced before. I was like, bitch, that don't matter. Fucking follow me.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, and like they dance it up. And then she wakes up, you know, and we've been seeing a lot, like there's times where like
she's waking up in different places, just kind of on the street and the side of the road. She's like, where the fuck is my other boot?
Or she'll be like, hey, where are you, Marnie? She can't find her, and then like they'll meet up and like, where'd you go? It's like, I don't know, where'd you go? You know, like they kind of keep missing each other in this very like dream frequency kind of way. And I kept saying,
it does feel a little bit, because it's always at night. It feels very surreal. It's kind of like they see each other during twilight hour.
Yeah. Which is a very sexy time of the day.
It's a magical time. We call it magic
sexy,
hour. You know?
For magical sexy stuff.
So they meet up during that time, and then the night just goes on and on until the morning when Marnie's not there.
Yeah. Well, their friendship, you know, like keeps happening in these dreams. This magic time. And I kept saying like, yeah, is she a fucking ghost? You know, like, because like maybe there's some merit to this fucking uncle being like, yeah, be careful, there's ghosts out there.
Yeah.
And I was like, it could be, it could be ghosts. You know, like, you know, it is kind of odd, but it's not very clear cut as to what's going on.
No, yeah.
And I feel like at this point you start seeing that like Marnie and like, you know, Anna have a really like
they're tight,
deep bond. Like
they understand each other in different ways than other people do.
It almost felt like romantic at times.
It for sure felt romantic.
I was like, yo, and again, I want to say this, and I would say it all the time. Yeah, I love lesbians, bro.
Yeah, man.
One of my favorite things in the world.
I love love.
I love love. So like, I'm cool with them loving each other.
Hell yeah.
You know, and they're like very in so there's other thing like people who are like opposite sometimes like attract each other. I'm like, cool, like super outgoing chick, super like introverted chick, like. Yeah, they can like. Why not? Like, fucking make it happen, bro. Like, let's see some fucking action. So I'm fully supporting this relationship. There are scenes where like Anna feels like she's jealous towards you know Marnie, and I'm just like, that I'm not cool with. Jealousy's a horrible thing.
Jealousy's bad.
Try to avoid it. I know it's a natural thing, but I'm not. Hey man, yo, worry about your asthma. You don't own Marnie. Don't own nothing to you, bro. Okay, you guys ain't official. Not Facebook official.
No.
Cool your shit, bro. Stop waking up on the side of the fucking street.
So Anna wakes up and she goes to check out Marnie's house again. And she sees that there's this woman that's painting a picture of it. Mm-hmm. So she gets excited and she's like, oh man, I'm going to go check that out and talk to her a little bit. And like, oh yeah, I love this house. Yeah, I've got a friend that's there or whatever. And they kind of bond for a second. And then Anna sees that there's a new girl up in the window. And like the lady's like, yeah, new family
new
just moved in.
Wins, yeah. She was saying like, yeah, you're going to have to hurry up and finish drawing it because they're fixing up the house. And she's like, what? And so she goes and she notices that there's times where she goes to the house and it's like all run down. There's times where she goes, it's like super pretty, which led me to believe it's got to be Ghost.
You're like, something's fucking going on. Ghost.
So she meets the new girl who like lives in the house.
And she seems like she's a year or two younger than Anna. She's just a little bit dorkier.
Big round glasses, fucking pigtails. And she calls Anna up into her house because she thinks she's Marnie. She found Marnie's like...
She's like, Marnie!
Yeah, she found
and Anna's like, how the fuck did you know my name isn't Marnie?
She found Marnie's diary and she's been reading it, you know. Which again, I was like, fucking Ghost. It's got to be Ghost.
She's like, hey, I found your diary. You used to live here, right?
Yeah. And she's like, that's not my diary. She's like, well, how do you know who Marnie is? Like, it's like, mind your own fucking business. You know, like this whole thing starts like unraveling. Anna still doesn't put things together completely because she'll then see Marnie again. And she goes like, where'd you go?
And like, she did read Marnie's diary and was like, yeah, this is the shit that fucking happened. Yeah. This is for sure her diary.
Yeah.
Something weird is going on.
It all kind of comes to a big head where like Marnie confesses like, yo, like, you know, my parents are at home. I do seem to have this like really like great like home life and everything, but they're only home for like, they're away for business. They're only home for parties. I'm stuck a lot with my grandmother and the two like maids who take care of me.
And they don't give a fuck about me.
Yeah, and they kind of lock me away.
Abuse me.
Yeah, and she's like, you know, they were going to throw me into the silo, which is like a giant tower essentially. Yeah. She's like, you know, going to throw me in there and, you know, teach me a lesson, but it was raining super bad and like they decided not to, but you know, she's like, shit's not perfect. I'm like, my stuff isn't great, you know?
You might think I have it all, but I definitely don't.
Because Anna had confessed, like, you know what? She found out that, you know, she knew she's adopted, but she also she found out that like her adopted parents get money from the government. And so now she feels kind of like, I'm not really like, they don't really care for me as a kid. I'm just like a paycheck for them.
Yeah. And they've never talked to her about it, which could of course cause issues.
To be like, oh, they're keeping it a secret for some reason.
That's kind of a difficult thing to talk to with your kid too, being like, hey, by the way, we get paid for having you.
Yeah. And when this was happening, I was just like, I don't know what it was because I was like, I get that like in reality, yeah, that's a hard topic, right?
It's a little bit tough.
But watching it in the movie, I was like, yo, it's, you know, your parents love you. Like, come on now, like, you know, calm down. But you were telling me like, yeah, she's sad and she's just using this as an excuse, or as not an excuse, as like another reason to, you know, talk about why she's sad. Like she obviously has some sort of depression, right? Like she feels like lost and she feels like it doesn't belong.
So she's not healthy. Yeah. So like that, of course, exacerbates all other issues. Like when one thing brings you down, if there's something else that's trying to bring you down, it feels even harder. Stacks on. Yeah, like she can't make friends at school because of her health, because of, you know, she doesn't have real parents. All that kind of stuff just boils up inside of her. So, you know, Anna wants to be supportive of Marnie because Marnie's supportive of her. She's like, hey, let's go to the silo. We'll face your fear. Yeah. And then they go and there's like the little fucking girl with the glasses who's in Marnie's new old house is like, hey, I found the last pages of the diary. A bunch of shit happens and starts raining.
Yeah. And like Marnie's like freaking out in the silo and Anna's there to help her. And then Marnie disappears and leaves Anna in the silo. And
right. And then Marnie starts calling her a different name.
Yeah. She starts having like a flashback. Like she's like seems to be like mixing her like her not her realities but like her memories or where time she's in, you know? Yeah. Like it seems that someone helped her when she was in the silo in the past and she's confusing that person with Anna, right? Mm-hmm. And so like it's like Anna's like, I don't know what's going on with you. I'm your boy though. I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna help you with whatever I can. Anna ends up like passing out like in the forest and gets a fever and you know, she gets sick and she gets like really upset with Marnie. She ends up, I think, reading the last pages, seeing Marnie and being like, hey man, it's like, hey, I'm upset with you. Like you left me there, you know, like, and then Marnie's like, I'm really sorry. I don't have much time left here. You know, she's kind of just like generally at that time I was like, Ghost, fucking, it has to be Ghost, you know? Mm-hmm. It's not Ghost. It's not really Ghost. It's complicated. It's more complicated. It's complicated than that because we'll explain it to you in a bit. But I was like, fuck, it's Ghost. So yeah, and then, you know, Marnie's like, before I go, like, I just need you to like say you forgive me. And then I was like, yeah man, like of course I forgive you. I'm so fucking mad at you. I forgive you. I love you. And then, you know, Marnie's like, oh, I love you too. And I was like, oh,
yeah.
fuck yeah, man, they love each other. Nice.
Hell yeah. And then that issue kind of resolves. They go their own ways for a minute because they kind of have to. And we get to learn some Marnie backstory.
And then the painting chick tells her, right?
Yeah, whose name, I think her name is Hisako.
Yeah.
I'm like, one of them is named though.
So for sure. So they go talk to Hisako. I'm like, hey, what's the deal with this, right? Because they find a painting in Marnie's room and behind it, it's signed by Hisako, right?
Yeah. And
so Hisako explains to her, like, yeah, so Marnie used to live in that house. I was her friend, you know, we would visit, they had great parties, all this stuff. And then she explains, like, Marnie, her, like, upbringing wasn't the best because her parents weren't there, like how we said earlier. But she fell in love with
Kazuhiko.
I
just looked up his name.
This boy, right? And he took her away from that situation. Like, they moved away, and you know they had a child, right?
Emily.
And then Kazuhiko, he dies, right? Is that what happens?
Yeah, from an unknown illness.
He dies, and you know, leaves Marnie with her daughter Emily, and it's like really hard on her, and she seems to have like a mental break.
Yeah, she's having a lot of trouble. She's kind of feeling ill. She's
doesn't know how to deal with it all, right? So she ends up putting Marnie in kind of like I thought she was gonna like give her up for adoption. She ends up putting her to like a private school, like a school for girls, like a boarding school, right?
Yeah.
And she works on herself, and eventually she gets better, and she goes to pick her up from the private school one day, and Emily's like, I'm not having shit to do with you. Like, you abandoned me. I fucking hate you, essentially.
Yeah.
Which kind of weighs heavy on Marnie. Emily ends up like eloping, you know, marrying some guy, I think, and going off and like living her life. And then they have a child, and Emily dies in like a car accident with her husband, right? And it's just like, fuck, dude, that's really sad. And that's what, I think that's where Hisako's story ends. Like, that's what she ends up telling her.
There's another part where Marnie does have like a mental breakdown, and she winds up going to like an asylum for help.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why she's sent off to a boarding school.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't deal with this.
And so then, Anna's like doing better with herself. She's talking to her aunt, you know, her mom comes to see her, you know, her adopted mother comes to see her. By the way,
did you mention that Marnie took Anna in?
No, because that happens later. That's because that's explained later. Because like, then we see. No. Hisako tells her that too, right? Because
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and then she took in the baby.
Exactly.
But she died after a couple of years.
So Hisako then also tells her that Marnie took in this new, you know, Emily's baby, her granddaughter, and raised her for a bit until she passed away. Because she got old or whatever. I don't know what happened. She dies.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the end of that story. So then, you know, adopted mother comes, they're talking, they're like, you know, having a conversation, and she, you know, Anna looks like she's doing better, you know, she looks happier, she looks stronger, she looks, you know, just all around healthier, not just physically, like mentally, you know.
Yeah.
And her mom kind of tells her, like, hey, like, I want you to know, like, we get money for taking care of you from the government, but by no means is like, that's why we do it. We love you so much. And Anna's just like, yeah, I know, you know, like, and I'm okay with it. I know you guys love me. And, you know, that's like, oh, fuck. Like, you could tell, like, weighing a lot.
What a burden lifted.
Like, weighing a lot on her mom. They hug, and she goes like, hey, you know, here's some photos or a journal or some shit like that. Or there's something. But she ends up seeing, like, a photo of the Marsh house. It's like an old photo. In the back of it says Marnie. And so then she puts two and two together, and she realizes, holy shit, like,
I am the granddaughter.
I am Emily's daughter, who is Marnie's, you know, daughter. You know, he's like,
and I took the place of Kazuhiko in these memories that I somehow became a part of.
And it turns out, like, you know, when Marnie was taking care of Anna, Marnie was like telling her stories about, you know, and like, so like they're kind of like mentally ingrained in there somewhere.
And somehow, because she was finding this home that Marnie was from, she had this like spiritual connection to it.
There's this, or like, it's like this mental stuff that came to fruition because she's around the house, you know. It's like, so it wasn't ghosts.
It was instead some more complicated, convoluted bullshit, which I'm fucking down with.
Okay, so yes, that I'm down with.
Yeah.
The thing that made me not down with was, okay, by the way, because we're not idiots, I know, I'm sure when you watched it the first time, you realized, fuck, Anna's the girl in this story when fucking the painting chick tells us.
Yeah.
Not later when she sees the photo. There's no
no.
Because that's the reveal. I'm like, no, fuck that. I knew that 5 minutes before, right?
Right. But for Anna, it was the reveal for her. She was like, holy shit. Because of course you don't think like, oh yeah, that
must
for sure
be me. Yeah, exactly. Right. She's thinking, oh, that's sad for Marnie.
Yeah. And she's also like, how the fuck did I interact with her? What is up? She's like tripping the fuck out.
Yeah, Anna's like, was it ghosts? Was it bad mushrooms? What was it? You know,
what happened?
But anyways, so because I knew that beforehand, and before she has the reveal, I'm thinking, fuck, man, I'm still down with like love. Love is love and everything. I'm not a supporter of like romantically loving your grandmother like that,
Nah, it's a little bit weird, man.
And you and I were talking about it. It's like, yeah, maybe they meant like, I love you like as a homie, bro. Like we're really in trips. Like,
but no, for sure.
I was like, nah, it's for sure. Like I love you and I want to kiss your face. I was like, yeah, it for sure felt that way.
It's because it was, and it's because she wasn't Anna, she was Kazuhiko.
Yeah,
and it was for sure like an actual romantic love.
Yeah.
But they were different people.
Yeah, bro. I love my grandparents. I don't love my grandparents that way.
No.
That ain't me. So not having that. Yeah. Anna, says goodbye to, people that she met in the town, bye to her, her relatives, bye to the fisherman and like the fucking girl. By the way, the fisherman says a couple words. Fucking best part of the movie.
Yeah.
He's like something about the girl that lived here. The fucking beautiful house or something. Like, I don't know what you're saying, but I'm about it.
Like, eat Arby's.
Yeah, eat Arby's. Yeah, I'm thinking Arby's.
Yeah, okay.
He says bye to the painting chick. She apologizes to this other minor character she called fat at one point. She's like, hey, I'm sorry.
She called her a fucking pig.
Yeah, which is essentially calling her fat.
Yeah.
And then she verbally calls like her adopted mother her, mother, which maybe she just doesn't do like, I don't know, often, because it seems to really have like resonated with her mom. It's like, oh, she called me mom. Like she didn't call me like, this is my keeper, or this is my, my auntie or something like that. It's like, this is my mother. I was like, oh, fucking great. Anna drives off into the fucking sunset, she's like, I'm going back to Tokyo or wherever the fuck she's from. And she's like, I'll be back next year to hang out and draw the Marsh house and blah, blah, blah.
And I'll be friends with you too, even though I was a huge bitch.
Yeah. And the fucking roll credits.
Yeah.
This movie.
I really liked it because it subverted my expectations. At this point, I had seen almost every Ghibli movie when I first saw When Marnie Was There, and they all had a really whimsical, fantastical element to it. Yeah. I may not have seen The Wind Rises, but I also, and Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. They're just very different kinds of movies. But this one, it combined the elements that I wasn't really expecting. Like,
yeah, it bridges that gap of being like this really out there fantasy stuff to like a very realistic like story,
And normally the stories in Ghibli movies are a bit more grand. Like in The Wind Rises, even though it's all about like building planes in war times and whatnot, it has this sense of progression and like a goal, and it has different weird things going on. A lot of time passes.
Yeah.
And it feels like there's so much happening in that movie. A lot of travel, a lot of different things, a lot of moving parts. And with When Marnie Was There, you have two characters and it only spans a summer.
Yeah.
And it's a really, really small, short time, and it's just their interactions for the most part. It's totally different than anything else. I feel like the story was way more intimate. It didn't have this sense of adventure, or it didn't have a large goal like creating these new airplanes. That's fucking huge.
Or like saving the environment and like fucking Princess Mononoke or whatever. Like this grand. It's like, no, man. It's like two friends being friends. Being there for each other during summer. And I like how it's only the summer, because like time progresses and we see like her hair grows out like a little bit, and I was like, oh, nice. It's been like at least a couple months,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shit's happening. Okay, cool. She's getting better, because people, she needed a change of pace. She needed something different in her life, and she found it like out in the like fucking ocean town or whatever. I was like, fuck yes, fucking. It feels good. It feels good that the story essentially was like a very simple thing,
right? I mean, you could also argue with that, like Kiki's Delivery Service is also a very simple story of a girl trying to find herself, but she happens to be a witch, so a bunch of different stuff happens. A little bit more. I feel like there aren't too many really simple kinds of movies that Ghibli does. And it really showed that Ghibli can do a strong as fuck simple movie.
Yeah.
Great core characters, very simple story that has fundamental changes in characters and growth, and it addresses issues that other anime don't address too often, about depression and about abuse. You know, when I say that, pretty much all anime that were like, this show's fucking good.
Like, because they have deeper meanings. They're like, hey, it's just, you know, fucking dude punch another dude. Yeah.
Right. But I feel like this one was handled in a very sensitive, delicate way that was a little bit more realistic, because there are some heavy handed, like Your Lie in April. It's like fucking huge abuse.
Yeah. It's just like
straight off
mom
the bat.
straight up hitting dude. He's like, oh, that's fucking bad.
Right.
You know, it's fucking stars aligned guy getting hit in the head with a racket. You go, whoa,
Right.
whoa.
It's fucking intense shit. But then when Marnie was there, I feel like they handle it really delicately. They're like, she's depressed. She has problems. She's adopted. She'll figure it out. And then Marnie, she's being kind of abused and neglected. But realistically, it doesn't happen a whole lot. It just happens enough so that it's a large issue with this character.
Yeah. Also, like, you know, when you're younger, like things like those affect you a lot more. You know, you're just like, oh, it's like, you're like, I want to be with my mom and dad. Like, you know, that's what you want ingrained as a child.
The impact of not having your parents is way greater.
And when they're not there, you're just like, why aren't they there? Do they not love me? Oh my God. And it's like, it becomes this giant thing, even though it seems like, yeah, as an adult, you're like, I get it. You know, dad has to go to his business trip. Mom is going shopping in Milan or whatever. You're like, you know, you get like, you know. But
I actually read this really interesting thing that somebody was talking about. They're adopted. They're 16 years old. And they were talking about how right now they're really sick. Not like dying sick, but like they're sick, stay home from school, throwing up kind of sick. They're really sick. And even though they don't remember and never met their mother and heard that their mother was just abusive and like abandoned them, and the father was around for a lot longer and he was a drug addict and a piece of shit and wound up dying, this kid's still just like, I want my mom. I know that she's horrible. I've never met her. I want my like real biological mom. And I feel like an asshole because I have my adoptive parents. There's such sensitive different issues that like, every adopted kid's gonna have that certain yearning that's like, but what if like my real mom would have connected with me better? Or what if I had something more genuine? I don't know. And there's always that doubt. And they even though it is all genuine with their adopted parents, they just don't understand it, you know? And I feel like this movie, it tackles a very light version of that.
Yeah, it's like her learning to accept, you know, her situation, right? Which isn't the world's worst situation, but it's still, it seems to be, it's affecting her world, right?
Yeah.
And she's just like, she doesn't know what it is, and her, you know, dealing through it, and that's what's really cool. Yeah, it has a great topic, like a great theme, you know, it's for sure like a great like movie to watch, and like, you know, it's not like destroying barriers. Like, no, but it's really
it's just
good.
a very different Ghibli movie.
Yeah, it for sure is a change of pace for Ghibli.
Highly recommend it.
Visually, I would say like it's really cool because it's a newer one, right? It's like it's on the latter half of like those Ghibli films.
So it looks clean. It looks like it pops,
but it still has that traditional like Ghibli like, feel to it. Character designs wise, we're talking about like
great job,
like super simple sometimes.
Right?
You know, like
all different kinds of outfits
things,
and stuff.
You know, little things that they add. Like I was saying, like the fisherman, you don't fucking need him, right? But it's like. But the fact that he doesn't really speak, the fact that he has like little dots for eyes,
it looks a little
like,
bit different.
It's kind of grow up him. It's like, yeah, like a really something about it like really makes you dig it.
And honest, and this is one thing I really liked. She ate chips like a normal person. She ate like 3 at a time, and it was just a little background thing that's going on. Didn't need to put 3 chips in her hand because like I feel like most anime they just take like one thing, they just chomp it down, whatever. No, they were doing it real style. And I appreciate that. You need that sense of realism. And these are real people. It's not just an anime movie. It's like, these are real people doing a real thing, but it's animated.
It felt really good. I liked it. You know, I think I'd recommend it to people. It might not be for everybody.
This one doesn't fit the same category as Spirited Away, which you could recommend to pretty much everyone because it's got some real ass elements that you can relate to, as well as some crazy whimsical elements that you probably can't get anywhere else.
For sure.
This one feels more like you could make a live action adaptation of it, and it could be good if you don't fucking
it up,
do weird shit with it. Like,
if you don't cast Scarlett Johansson.
This is like the Time Traveler's Wife or what the Lake House.
The Lake House,
you know, that kind of type. Yeah. Anyways,
so that's being said, Scarlett Johansson, Bad in Ghost in the Shell, good in JoJo's Rabbit. Just saying.
Okay,
I want to make it clear because I don't want people think I'm throwing shade at.
ScarJo's great, dude. I loved her.
She's great. She's great.
Anyways,
that's it, right? We said it. We said it. We talked about Scarlett Johansson.
We're done.
Cool.
And on a ScarJo.
So good movie. I think people should check it out. Had a great time.
Yep.
Cool. Next week, we're watching the live action version.
Yeah.
It's been set in stone.
It is.
We just watched it.
We're doing it.
Fucking sizzle. It was fucking bad.
We watched it while we were recording.
I didn't even talk during the recording. I just kind of watched it.
Yeah, it was great.
It was great. Okay, so yeah, we'll do something next week. I don't know if that's it. If you like our logo, hit up Aaron from TurbyTops.com. If you like our theme song, check out Tom Nasser on SoundCloud and YouTube. Trip, where can people find us?
You can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instagram Podcast. Same thing goes for Instagram. Look up the Instagram Podcast. If you want to send us a tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast Fit.
And you can shoot us an email, instagrampodcast@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for listening once again. Especially if you already listened to our old episode of it. Like, thanks for listening again to a new, fresher, more wise take on this movie.
You got to hear me talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Instead of some yokel,
Yeah. Well, that's the episode. Sorry if it ran a little bit long. We just had a good time talking. So
we like each other.
Yeah.
We missed each other.
Miss you. That's bye from Juan.
See you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water.